free reign, talk to me. We're gonna hit a beat and talk about my Eve. Everybody
Oh,
don't know what I say.
God.
I'm gonna do a beat.
Make it stop.
Rain?
It's
Why?
time to stop.
Why did you?
Rock, paper, scissors, right? We don't want Eve to be as simple as shut the fuck up, Seto!
Floods of like memes, and these small gangers are like, we're the elite of the elite. Do not fuck with us. We will kill you. We are the best players ever. It's like, dude, I did your shit. I did it better than you did.
You know what this conversation is like? When I say not enough supers die in Delve, and people tell me, oh, look, there's a super died in Delve. So it's like, when
What
I'm
are
talking
you
about
even
the balance
talking
issue,
about? We were talking about fucking balance, not supers
Yeah.
dying in Delph.
Look,
Why
look,
does
look, look,
everything with you have to be about supers fucking dying in
Shut
Delph?
up! Shut up!
Christ!
It's an analogy, moron. It's an analogy. Okay?
You guys stop arguing. You act like a fucking married couple. Jesus Christ.
No, don't stop arguing.
It's an
Well, it
analogy.
is Trash Talk Tuesday.
I was like,
Hello and welcome to Trash Talk Tuesday. Tonight, Goon's two-faced approach to undefended structure bashes. It's fine when we do it, but not you.
Kill. I changed the topic list.
What's
Oh,
the
God damn it, good on you.
two-phase?
We're
what's the
Trash
two-phase
Talk
attack?
Tuesday, the end of the Pappy Coalition. Who's left, who's next, and who's got secrets?
that was
What?
last week's.
That's the
No.
one at the bottom of the thing.
That's
You guys are
not-
bad at this.
It's
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, capsuleers and capsulettes, welcome one and all to the second best talk show about EVE Online that broadcasts Tuesdays at 0100 EVE when the terribleness that is daylight savings time exists, because fuck farmers. Bum ba-dum bum 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 bum.
What the fuck?
My name.
I
Shut up,
take-
Shut
I
up,
take
Iowa.
Fuck farmers? There's a website for that.
That cut deep.
NomansOnly.com.
My name is Redline13, and I am one of the hosts for this evening's show. I'm also joined by Gurgaran, Luke Twa,
Hi.
Altrari Phoenix, Caleb Atagonia, Marius, Kale, Dominarch, Big Bill the Boss, Mike Flood, and the recently confessed love for Rain Chocolate. You guys saw that post, right? Where's Muck? Where's Muck?
So isn't like loveforfarmers.com just christianmingle.com?
No, farmersonly.com. If you don't
They
want to
get
be
nasty.
lonely.
Omens only.
What's wrong with
Almonds only, I get it.
capsulettes, by the way? There's nothing wrong with the
Capsuleers
word
is not
capsulettes.
masculine, so therefore you should not make capsulettes, which is inherently feminine.
Also, yeah,
I'm on I have an
capsuleer is
account
not
set
a
up
gendered
on
term.
I think it is.
I have
Not only
a-
that, but Empyreans don't really need gender.
Also, I have a account set up on evewinnersonly.com if anybody's interested.
No, is that a very, very select group?
Yeah, it's very select.
Yeah.
There's no
So-
Pappy allowed.
Before
You're
we-
winning Eve, Bill?
Yikes. Before we jump into more of the fun show, I do just want to say something to all my friends in the Pappy Coalition that are currently fleeing for their lives from Delve. I think you've mostly moved, except for the people you guys left behind. Bad form, by the way. But also, Outer Passage is where alliances go to die, and Geminate is where alliances go to get farmed. If you didn't know that yet, you're going to learn that here pretty quickly. Looking at you, Test and Brave, you're about to have a lot of fun, and then you're going to have not a lot of fun. It's going to happen quickly.
Ooh.
I do want to
Alpha
confirm that
Muskies in chat.
the rats that are in Geminate, I do have positive standings with, and they do have diamond forms of them.
What do we need to get Muskie on here, bro? I see you in chat. Come join us.
You can join the public channel. Anyone can.
Muskie is like Horde's version of Kale.
He's a Wish.com version of Mike.
That's toxic. I'm still eating enchiladas.
I
I'm
like how-
certified toxic.
I like how
We
y'all
are-
trying to trash talk Muskie and you can't even think of someone bad enough to compare him to. Like what?
Right? You parent.
Yeah, Muskie.
Hey, I've got nothing against Muskie.
You're such
Hey.
a...
Hey,
Also,
wait, was that an insult against me?
we are going to be opening the Pappy member helpline later, where if you have anything that you want to say, any confessions you want to make about how you felt about the last 13 years, you can do so completely anonymously. We'll open that up near the end of the show. You can jump in. We'll listen to you, offer you our assistance if we can. But I've got a couple more bites of enchilada left, so I'm going to throw it over to Big Bill the Boss, who has actually prepared a speech for us today.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to go AFK.
A speech on what exactly?
You literally just told me that you'd prepared a speech.
Do I need
I
to take my
didn't.
pants
This
off
is
for
complete bullshit. But since you're giving me the floor, sure. I'll give a speech. Hey, Test. Hey, Brave. How are you guys doing? Not that well? Sucks. I know. I've never been there before, but I can even imagine it, but I can only assume that it's pretty terrible, especially over the last months, year. Technically, I could say year. Yeah, year. You guys been talking mad shit. Super mad shit. Every Tuesday, I've come on here and listened to you over and over and over. Oh, we're killing the goons. The goons are gonna die. They're gonna be evicted. Woo! Splashing around in your little puddles of feces in our own space. Now where are you? What are you doing? Huh?
Killing
Look at that.
Atari's fleet.
Hey, don't let my whelp distract you from the fact that you guys have lost 110 bill to a bait beacon.
Is that it?
It's really low.
No,
Yeah,
I was
it's
not.
for one, no, but for one day on a bait beacon, that's pretty nice.
I guess I was just coming off of that off the top of my head. I didn't actually have a fucking speech because Redline lied. I did not actually prepare a speech.
Redline lied, Big Bill died.
Tell me something wriggle.
All I know is my
Anyways.
fucking F1 finger.
Hit some bars,
is
Bill.
sore as Redline's wrist on Valentine's Day.
Oof.
Redline's wrist. Hey,
Jesus!
That's not cool, man.
Dang.
Is that because
Dominic
I
actually
said?
trash talking, dude.
Is that because I
What
said
the
bad
fuck?
things
Yeah,
about
see, I can do it every
farmers?
once in a while.
Damn. So
What?
that's your one. What do we get the next
One, I get one. That's it.
One
One
and
a
done.
year. That's the one. That's the one right there. I just
All right.
trash talking you because I haven't got
So-
my fucking Abaddon skin yet.
Wait, Kale, you fed to the bait beacon?
Okay, look. The
Hold on, hold
Abaddon
on.
skins
We're
are
not
coming.
remembering it that way.
You fed to the bait beacon.
I've done alright, so I've been up for 20 hours doing move ups for
Excuses.
Alliance and stuff. No, look, I admit I fucked up. I pressed the wrong fucking thing. The other thing is here's the thing, alright? When we did our bait beacon, we never actually used names of pilots. It's against the EULA, it's impersonation. The bait beacon was using a name of a pilot who was actually in our MOTD. So props to whichever spy worked that one out.
Hot
It's a
take.
shit go, but shit happens. I put in a petition. We'll see what happens.
Hot take. Right click from the MOTD and jump to them. That's what PL's been doing, and PL hasn't.
Yeah,
allowed
but
anything.
we've been using the Sino beacons,
Oh.
so you can't add them to the watch list. And as I said, I just finished doing like 12 hours of Alliance and port moves.
You
I
know,
was fucking brain fried.
for the rest of the move up, CCP like good.
Hey, Donald,
I think
why
I
don't you get
almost
under the
jumped to that
desk
bacon
for
too.
me?
I didn't, but I almost
Hey,
did.
Hey, come on, man. CCP released a good change recently with a mobile cynosural field generator. You can use that. You don't even have to have cyno ships. You just have that little beacon. Just hopefully
you
there's
can't
no
write-
Hecates around.
Oh, wait, I only fed
You can't
24
right
bill?
click
That's
it.
it? I swear I fed more than that. Could someone give me a battle report on this? Like, I swear I fed more than that. That's
It's
impressive.
in the Battle Reports channel.
So anyways, tonight's topics are kind of varied. Believe it or not, they're mostly about the end of this terrible war and everything that's happening as a result of it. Apparently there's like a handful of alliances that are just not going to exist anymore. Like right now, and then there's a few more that aren't going to exist in a few months.
Yeah, Test probably won't. They'll fail skate because that outer passage is where Alliance is going to die.
This is such a. The war was cool at first, and then it just turned into like. It was awful. It was so depressingly bad.
What do you mean?
Yeah, the
Why
last
was it
couple
that
months
bad?
was pretty shit.
It just turned into like this slow fucking like
There was a
an
month where it
entire
was
an
really
entire pandemic came through, went down, went away, and then came back during this fucking war. You guys realize
you-
that, right?
Did you just say
Are
the
you-
pandemic went away?
I said it went away and then came back.
It didn't
Pandemic
go away,
Legion
Bill.
did.
Wait a
It-
second.
Pandemic
Are
Horde
you-
did.
Are you talking about? Are you comparing goons to a real life pandemic? Because they did
No.
come up, go down, and then come back, exactly the same way. Like
Actually, Pappy is the first 4 letters of the papillomavirus, which is actually a disease that is sexually transmitted between a lot of people. So,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Garav
His
Eve
mother-
Online. Garav Eve Online says it best in chat. End of the war is old news. You know what else is old news? Setting in Twitch chat and anonymously talking shit to people who don't give a fuck about you. If you want anybody to care what you're saying, you can hop on these comms and say it to our face. Bitch. Anyways.
or call the hotline.
Fucking mic drop.
or you can call the hotline later. So let's talk about something fun. I'm just kidding, Grav. I love you, by the way. Bitch.
Eve New Orleans is happening this weekend. So I think it's one of the first official Eve meets. I guess I shouldn't say official because CCP's not hosting it. But it's player run. So Eve New Orleans, if you're in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a hotbed, do not show up if you're not vaccinated or without a mask. Because like Bill said, the pandemic did not go away. People are still dying. Oh, it's still showing my push to talk going. I'm gonna just keep talking and hope you guys can hear me. So yeah,
We
so New
can.
Orleans
We can
happening
hear
this
you.
weekend. There's gonna be lots of fun touring Bourbon Street, touring the French Quarter. I almost said Boob, which is also known in New Orleans. There's a I want to say a crawfish boil, which turned into a lot of food of New Orleans. So if you like food, you like Cajun food, you like seafood, definitely show up.
There's a really good breakfast place down there. I forgot where.
Caesar? No, not Caesar's.
No.
Something Palace.
I have to look it up. There's actually 2 of them. One of them has like one of the best southern fried. There has an exquisite eggs Benedict. I'd have to look them up though.
Yeah, Bill. Why aren't you going? By the way, you literally live like 2 hours away.
I don't live there. I'm not in Alabama anymore.
Bill, all the South is like within 2 hours of each other. Just show up.
No, it's not. It's like a 14-hour drive.
What the fuck? Okay, sorry. I'll be there though. I'll be there. Delano will be there. DJ will be there. DJ's MPL. You may have heard of us.
What about your lover, Muck Barbarian?
Is within
I don't
2
think Muck's
hours of
going.
each other.
Yeah, but yeah. So Muck's out in the west, so I don't think he actually is within driving distance. Yeah, you guys should show up. We're gonna have fun. I don't care what side of the war you're on, or if you're in the war at all. Nobody gives a fuck in real life, so we're all gonna hang out. Come out and join us.
I mean, yeah, you
I
even
promise you,
posted
I would've-
that. You posted that picture in Discord of Progod
yeah.
and Mittens hugging. Like,
Oh no, that they weren't hugging. They were strategizing the fall of PanFam.
see, so on the other side of the other side of the picture, like one of them's holding a little barbecue, yeah, and it's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a discussion of the fall of Pappy, and then there was the epic betrayal of Test to Imperium or whatever the fuck it's called. I have it all on camera.
man, who let the goons into fucking Twitch chat? Hey, like, not like you guys that are in here. No, come on, look, you've got to admit, like Luke, Altarari, Mike, you guys are all awesome. Bill, you're top bloke.
Dude,
but you know,
don't think these are
you got
goons.
those guys in there.
I don't
Question.
think these are goons.
Who guys?
What's up?
So, in both scenarios, for what the next big, and this is from the perspective of like 2019, the
I made a question for
eviction
Nola.
of Deadco. No, I don't know who this Enola is. Anyway, other than
It's
the
a
Enola gay.
location. New Orleans, Louisiana, Nola. Eve
Oh,
Nola. This
that
big
shit
meetup.
sucks.
Are you
Just
that
say-
brain dead?
Just say New Orleans, dude. Anyway.
Easier.
So in both scenarios for what the next big war was going to be from the perspective of 2019, it was either Legacy teaming up with Goons to go north, or it was Legacy. This is what ended up happening. Legacy forming Pappy with PanFam and going west. Why was it never Goons teaming up with PanFam to attack the south?
Can anyone imagine PanFam leaders teaming up with goons for anything?
No.
I can imagine. I can
before.
imagine that more than I could with them teaming up with AOM.
The only thing I could see them doing that for is like killing Sword Dragon maybe 3 years ago.
No,
The
not even
Goons
then. They were
defended
teamed up
Sword.
with yeah, they were teamed
Well,
up
no,
with
I'm
Sword
saying
at the time.
I'm saying if they hated Sword. That's the only time.
Well, they
you
did.
really want to kill Sword.
They did hate Sword after he gave us all those faction Fortizars, and then they came in and like pretty much swept up the dead corpses. That was GOTG at the time.
I don't know, man. We created a lot of corpses of our own to sweep up too. Like you didn't kill GOTG. We did. We did that thing.
I mean, y'all like hammered in the nail in the coffin.
There wasn't even a coffin. Like, you guys don't even know how to build coffins. You couldn't kill an alliance if it fucking hit you in the head.
Redline,
Wait,
you're not in
weren't you
anymore,
just-
and you were in Goons when GOTG died.
Fred, weren't you just talking about how many alliances have started dying since they evacuated? Like,
Yeah, but
not
it's
just
not because
fucking.
you fucking killed them, is it? No, it's not because you killed them. Them dying is a byproduct of you not dying. That isn't you killing them. You magnificent.
Technically, that is the
magnanimous,
strongest
dumb shit.
surviving. So
What?
So
No,
we
but
killed
here's the
them
thing.
by not dying.
Right. So it's a lot like, someone doesn't donate their left kidney, and then somebody who needed a kidney dies as a result.
Cockroaches
It's
are
a-
so good at surviving that other insects can't eat them? Is that what you're saying?
Garrick, sometimes I just like want to fucking just throw my headset against the wall when you talk. Just fucking take my headset and just beat the shit out of it so I don't have to hear your voice anymore. But
Speaking of beating the shit out of things, did you guys see on the stream how there's meteors falling behind the Trash Talk Tuesday logo?
Yeah, I did. Where's the flames?
That's pretty cool, right? Huh?
They look like meatballs.
Meteors don't have flames.
No, I missed the flames behind. That's usually behind there. They look
Oh,
like
I was thinking.
flaming
Wait, I was
meatballs.
thinking comets. Sorry. I just imagine these as like comets instead of like a meteor shower.
I don't have Twitch open. I'm afraid that my computer would
they
turn into
are-
a ball of fire if I did.
They are extermination meteors, guys. Because I want to talk about which alliances are dying. Can we talk about that?
Oh, I get it because the last thing.
As the representative for dying alliances, like yeah, we can talk about that.
Was the Reddit post about warped intentions? Was that actually legit?
Of course.
I mean, it's Reddit. I'd fucking take everything with a grain of salt.
Don't you know everything on Reddit is real? Hello.
I really hate watching alliances die. I mean, there's some that are like, like the leadership fucked up in some way or just it was a bad setup. But like alliances that don't need to die, that just fail skate from outside factors, it really sucks to see because, that for at least some of the members, that was like their community,
Well, they're still dotting, aren't they?
Apparently
So it's
they
not like dying.
Like, if you're a real community, you never really die, do you? You just take a break. So, like, if an alliance is dying, then I wouldn't really call them a community. I would call them more like a temporary place to crash while you're doing something, and then you just stop when they stop doing stuff. And you
I
just
mean, the
leave.
people that people from your alliances, even after they fall apart, even if you end up in different places, you still always hang out together, talk together, and do shit.
Nah,
I mean, that's the real.
That's kind of like the skill you though, right? Like they have a huge community, but they've gone through multiple alliances over the last few years.
Kill, is this you softly putting down tests before you come over to Amok? Is that what I'm hearing?
Talking like Convicted. When Convicted fell, we tried to make 3 strikes, and that fell apart because the same leadership was in power, and apparently they were just shit. But like even to this day, I still talk to a lot of the guys in the different alliances that they're in. There's a couple in Initiative, Rogue Capel. There's a couple in Brave. Like we still do shit, still chat, still play Dota together.
I had to uninstall Dota. I was playing way too much of it. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
make
that's
I'm gonna make a prediction and say that I think Brave Alliance is going to be the one alliance to watch as they come out of this. They're going to get shit on at the beginning here, and they're probably going to get dwindled down to like a very small knit group. But I foresee them out of all the alliances coming out on the other side stronger than the rest.
I can't
I
wait
have a
to
lot of
farm them.
faith in Dunk. I have a lot of faith in Dunk being able to rebuild Brave into actually something worthwhile.
Absolutely agreed.
Does question? So has Brave ever not gotten shit on?
It just makes them stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you, right?
No, that's
This is true.
That's just something that. Never mind. Nope.
Whatever doesn't kill you mutates and comes back stronger.
Yikes. That's deep. No, but I agree. I think that Brave will probably get their shit kicked in for a good long while. But hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, nobody up there can even kill Darkseid, so to think that they're just gonna waltz in and be in Geminate is kind of wild. But you know, whatever. You do you. Pop off, King, and all that.
How you doing, Cryo?
Oh, there's Cryo. I said 50 gifties, bro. 50 gifties.
You can ask for more than that. I'm worth way more.
I don't.
I don't know. That's about $400.
50
Honestly,
gift subs is not $400. What?
$250. Oh, and $250 US.
Am I quiet, by the way?
It's $399.50 Australian.
Yeah, but Australian, that's not real dollars.
It's real dollars. It's just.
All right.
Yeah.
I installed a new operating system, so let me crank my shit up a little bit. Does this sound better? Does this sound better? I'm too loud? Okay. Well, that's, we'll just be this loud. Yeah, pancakes. Yes, Villy is very quiet. Villy's not actually here. I don't know where Villy is. I haven't been able to find him since last Tuesday. So I see all the searching posters, and I think that's a good idea. I think if we find him, we just need to tell him that we love him, and not hold it against him that he was a part of starting a huge war that we all had fun in for the first few months, right? Like
we owe Villy intel.
We owe Villy a thanks for that.
Keep.
Or 13 years, as Redline said at the beginning of the show.
13 years, is that what I said?
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like 13 years. I mean, let's be honest. Like
it did seem like a long fucking time.
I've literally grown trees faster than it took for this war to end. Like, come on, man.
I feel like when I think back of what I used to do in Eve, I'm like, oh no, I was in a war. It's like, how long was this war? I feel like the beginning of my Eve career started at the beginning of this war.
Just think, like, you can literally turn back and go, what was I doing this time last year? I was fighting a war.
Oh, that's interesting too. So the T5ZI Keepstar, that's in Hull. We're just jumping around to different things at this point because I don't even know where to begin. There's too much shit that's happening, and we got 3 sentences of patch notes today, so I don't have anything else to talk about. So
what
I
are
hope
the
this is
3
cool
sentences?
for you guys. I don't fucking know. Something with Linux and Mac OS or some shit like that. So like 6 people are happy. The other 600 of us are like, huh?
Didn't they just release patch notes not too long ago that said like we are completely ending our support for Linux or some shit like that?
I mean, yeah, they did, and I don't actually know what those patch notes were. So let me.
That's not so bad though, because most Linux users play games through Wine or a similar like Windows emulator. So, I mean, like, maintaining support for Linux is kind of.
Well, if you can get it to run on a Mac, you should be able to get it to work on a Linux, right?
They're both based on Unix, yes.
I don't think you
the
can
kernel
say
is
Unix
significant
on Twitch.
They're not based on genitalless men.
You definitely can't say that on Twitch. Like, why?
But
hello?
They're not based on castrated men.
You definitely can't say that on Twitch. So the patch notes, they fixed an issue where atmospheric hangar sounds would atmospheric sounds would disappear when opening the star map. They increased the maximum volume level in-game videos can be set to, and set the default volume of videos to be at max volume.
It
Oh
sounds
wait,
really
wait.
fucking shitty.
The sound thing, is that for is that for everybody?
Sure.
Yeah. So okay, that may actually be a really good thing. I think that caused a lot of crashing issues for a lot of people.
And also, the Webcam Tuesday challenge is at 89%. We've been doing this for like 8 months.
It's so
and we're
close.
finally getting to the end. It's amazing.
What does that mean?
Well,
can you explain it?
What could Webcam Tuesday mean, Bill? Let's sound it out.
So Webcam Tuesday is the challenge that we've been doing for a while, where we all agreed that if the community as a whole donated 1 million channel points to the channel throughout the, like, at any point in time, that we would do a webcam version of Trash Talk Tuesday.
And why haven't we?
Well, because we haven't hit 1 million points yet. People don't
I think
realize
we
that
did.
they
You
have
took
to.
them away. You're hiding them.
I can't do that. That's impossible for someone to do.
Sure.
And if it wasn't
91%.
impossible, I certainly couldn't figure out how to
I mean,
do
I
it
think it's
myself.
what?
Anyways, you can keep your points if you want to. Like, it's not a huge deal, but you can also donate them to the Webcam Tuesday challenge. It's whatever you want to do. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up for about 5 minutes so you guys can do your thing. Dreadbomb sucks.
Wow. What did
Speaking
Dreadbomb
of
do?
Dreadbomb, the fucking Tengus that they bring out, very interesting.
Tengu is breaking.
Could you elaborate more on that, Marius?
HMLs are a good weapon platform.
What's an HML?
Heavy missile launcher.
So why don't you just say they're using heavy missile Tengus? And everybody would be like, oh, okay. It's just like fucking...
No, I'm just trying to fill dead air by asking stupid questions, Bill.
Yeah, I know. And I was trying to fill dead air by just like responding to them in a shitty way.
And I was trying to fill dead air by bringing up a stupid topic. So,
I mean, we could talk about my whelp. That was fun.
You whelped?
How
I was
fun
gonna
was
say,
it?
can we talk about how, like, in the span of like a few hours, Dreadbomb managed to farm like 100 bill?
And in a matter of 10 minutes, I lost fucking 30 bill.
Hey, Alterari, it's strategic, okay?
Yeah, it was
Doesn't
a
matter.
strategic feed.
Yeah, do you know how many times I had to feed in order to get something accomplished in this game?
I mean,
Wait,
how
Alterari,
many
you're an
oracles?
FC?
You're still
Some people
feeding
call
to
me
try
an
to
FC.
accomplish something. Don't worry about it, Bill. You'll get there eventually.
Jeremy, I know that's you. Don't
Who
even try
said his
to...
name?
I don't need to announce myself. I'm already known.
No, you
That's
like
really
Voldemort,
scary.
man. You say his name and he just appears.
All I know is someone from Diva. I'm not sure which person.
It's
But...
Hold on, I'll change my name for the benefit of the uninformed.
Guys,
Jeremy, the fact that you
Redline-
are really well known is scary.
I want
I just posted my favorite
everyone,
quote of all time.
everyone who has channel points to continue donating, because Redline said we were at 89% before he left, and now we're at 94. So if we could make it while he's
Fucking
gone,
hell.
that would be just
I didn't
excellent.
leave. I'm just being quiet.
Well, okay.
I mean, actually,
Redline, go ahead and
get a
leave so
fucking
that we
haircut
can.
and get my beard trimmed if I do this shit, doesn't it? Or is it just you hosts that need to have your webcam?
It's everybody. If you come on the show, you have to have a webcam.
Redline, someone
I'm gonna
redeemed
dress like
points
such
to
a
mute
douchebag.
you, so you have to mute yourself, dude.
Okay, for 5 minutes? Bet.
Yeah.
What time is it? It is currently 9:28 p.m. Eastern, or 9:29. All right, see you at 9:35.
Oh, thank God.
No. Oh, God. Oh, the thing was ticking across. It said 95% complete. I was like 100% complete. No, please. That's too much stress.
If it reaches 100%, we have to turn our webcams on. You know that, right?
No.
Wait, do we do it right now, or will we prepare a show for it?
We'll prepare a show, obviously, because I'm still convinced that...
I think we do both. We do
I haven't
one now
done my
and a
makeup,
show.
so
I'm
I
still
think
convinced
every
that we're gonna
episode-
get Villy on cam. Like, I'm gonna talk to Villy and make sure he gets on cam too.
I think
'Cause he's
every
been a part
episode
the
of
show
Trash
for
Talk
a year, so he
Tuesday.
has to be.
Villy on cam setting up for OnlyFans.
But Billy, if you listen to him, he's always like walking around his house doing things, so he'd have to have like a
He's on
GoPro
camera
pointed
and
at his face.
you just see him like in the distance.
One of those fucking GoPros on like the headset thing.
That's what I was gonna say, Bill. Yeah, he's got like a GoPro facing.
Or
his-
or a
you were
selfie stick
never
while
going
he's
to
in the
say something.
kitchen doing the
It was.
dishes.
I swear, I wouldn't just say this, Bill, but yeah, you and I had the same thought.
No, I think at a level way above yours. There's no possible way.
Well, sometimes I guess you have to stoop down then.
Well, Bill, do you have a camera too? You have to get on camera.
Yeah, I got a camera.
I can
Nice.
see them beefy forearms from you southern boys.
I was on I streamed on Merkelchin's show one time.
Nobody
I'll watch it.
watches. Nobody.
He's got them
watches
cowboy
the,
arms, you know.
Nobody watches Chatterbait here, dude. It's fine.
Jeremy, the South is not.
The South will
cowboys,
rise again. That's what I have to say.
And cowboys
Isn't that
are
what
not the
racists
South,
say?
and you can't say that.
I don't. Is that? Yeah,
We're going for a lot of TOS violations, aren't we?
Can you just give Manic his points back? Because Jeremy, come on,
Yeah, I
dude.
keep giving points back.
Be better, Jeremy. Say you're sorry right now to everybody you may have offended.
I guess I'm sorry.
You guess you're sorry? Okay, hold
Yeah.
up. Time to change your name. And make it so you can't change your name anymore.
Oh, okay.
Balding. No, wait. Jeremy.
Is that like when you're like,
Jeremy
I'm
Moldadori.
going to apologize because I'm being made to?
Yes.
I'm not actually sorry, but I have to say it.
Yes. This is like when you like punch your friend in the face and you gotta say sorry, but you're not really sorry.
So you
Dick your
joined the
brother
ranks.
with a metal pipe, and you're like, I'm sorry, Mom, don't hit me.
You joined the ranks of the balding racists of EVE Online. Congratulations.
My
All right, back to being muted.
Where's that
Goodbye.
Reddit thread?
Tissue?
Someone cancel me on Reddit. Someone message Sandra and tell him how disappointed you are in me.
That's how you say that, right? The
That's
tissue?
just that's my opening message to Sandra every morning, dude. I wake up, I'm like, dude, I don't even know what he did last night, but fucking disappointed in Jeremy.
That's
like my
Yo,
first,
dude, it got clipped. Look at that.
my first message, like, hey,
God damn.
Did you realize that you have Jeremy in your corporation?
It's sad.
Quick question: what happened to Noli Secunda? I'm pretty sure they disbanded, and the groups sort of went everywhere else.
Which sucks because they have the coolest name you could even conceive of having for an alliance in EVE Online.
How is it a cool name?
Because Noli Secunda means second to none, and the beginnings of each word is Nullsec.
All right, that's actually really fair.
Isn't it?
That is
Quickly
sick.
clip that. Marius is right.
Marius being
God
right
damn.
about something. Wow, holy fuck.
That was Nully fucking years ago.
So Alterari,
yeah,
how did you feed? Why did you feed? And what did you do?
Because of me. Because of my excellent stop bubbles, thinking like 3 steps ahead of him.
Jeremy, I wasn't talking to you.
I mean, he's not wrong though. Jeremy's stop bubble is actually what got me to like a full feed.
Alterari, are you actually like an FC? I did not know this.
Yes, I am.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
He's
No,
a good
you're good.
FC.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
had a
wondering,
lot
like-
of fights against Alterari. He's one of my favorite Goon FCs.
Yeah.
How do you
I
end
thought
up
played with
in
him
like a
earlier today,
100
right?
versus
Or was it-
300
Yeah, I'm not just some
kind of
random.
thing?
We're all
Okay, yeah,
kinda
I'm still a random, but no, yeah,
You're
I'm
good
a-
random though.
one of the ops FCs for goons. Basically what happened was I was tasked with 5 minutes notice that we needed to get to Mencia to contest an iHub timer. I formed a fleet, subpar and shitty boost, low logi. Decided, fuck it, let's go. About halfway there, I told everyone, like, hey, we're probably not coming home, so if you got implants, well, effing chat, boys.
Shiny and chrome.
Yeah, like, and I finished top damage on, yes, I did. So I jumped in. I knew that Test and Horde had mutants formed, so we were outnumbered 3 or 4 to 1 versus my 120-man fleet. I figured, fuck it, let's go see what we can do, whether it's keep them distracted or whatever. And I tried playing around with them a little bit, and then I miswarped and panic warped. So I panic warped
I
to a
fucking
gate
saved that clip for sure. That Marius is right clip. I love
and ended up getting caught by Jeremy's stop bubbles. So yeah, he was right. His stop bubbles got me, and at that point I was just like, fuck it, settle in, let's fight. We were 40 jumps away from home. There's no point in gating what was left of us back home. So fuck it, we're all dying.
Based
as it should
Yeah.
be.
Respect, man. Respect.
Gosh,
Yeah,
that sounds like a synopsis for the rest of this war. Is that you'll be 40 jumps from home and it won't be worth gating things up there or back.
Not only that, Redline, but they don't have
No, just back.
like where are they gonna gate their supers that they need to
Hi, Corian. Hold on, dude. I'll
take
let you
to
know.
wherever? There's gonna be so much harassment if they're ever going to like deploy to the southeast.
Is it true you guys had a fireside recently, or maybe it was on INN or something, but where you guys have gone, we're not going to follow tests because we don't want to jump our Titans and Supers that far?
Ooh.
I don't watch firesides, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. If you can find like a source for it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be if you have a source, that'd be awesome. But I haven't watched a fireside in like 3 weeks.
No, that sounds about right from what I've heard.
I mean, look, like strategically, yeah, it's not good for you guys at the moment to actually follow us that fucking far. I mean, God, it's a pain in the ass just moving. We've already made it half bloody way.
Is there even enough
to come over?
Is there even enough fucking isotopes on the market right now for us to be able to follow you? Like,
Probably.
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I mean, we
that's
don't
what-
get ours from the market.
Wait a second. You've only made it halfway?
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
but, like-
halfway there.
Oh! Lizard on a chair. Yeah, we're only at UQ. Like,
Thank you so much.
yeah, we're getting to UQ, man. It's like halfway there.
Jesus. I don't understand
think-
how. Like, PanFam did that move up in a day, right? A day. It's
UTech
been
Q.
like 3 weeks since you guys started moving. Well, your leadership started
What the
moving.
fuck?
UTech Q is not even halfway. It's still in the south.
PL's gonna be home in a week, so we start leaving Friday. We're gonna be done Friday.
How? How is it taking you so long to get back?
Because we have day jobs, Redline. We can't just sit in like no life for 24 hours.
It only takes
Why not?
14
Just
hours
quit
of
your day job.
nonstop move
I thought
ups
you
to
guys
get
were all
there.
in. I thought you guys were all in.
I
Like,
thought
old
that was
people's
what
homes.
PL was about.
Poop
No, we have day
socks?
jobs now.
Oh,
Dirty
PL got
casuals.
old?
Yeah, when we all moved down there, everyone was during COVID work, so people could just sit in no life. Now we actually have to go into work, so we can't sit in like no life.
That's unfortunate.
When did PL get so many old people?
PL's the
We're a
retirement home.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. Is if you're in a retirement home, you can afford to know life. You don't have a job.
Oh, because then we have to take naps and it takes longer.
Oh.
Oh god, that
Can't miss
sounds
bingo
great. A
night.
nap.
I could go for a fucking nap.
You just
No, it's
woke
worse
up.
than a nap. A nip.
That was.
Nips are great though.
That was.
way to kill the fucking chat.
Shut up, Marius.
Before you get banned by Twitch because they're thinking of the wrong nip.
Yeah, y'all are having a little bit of trouble with that UQ thing, aren't you?
The what?
UTech Q. PL's not. Y'all,
And
y'all were able to fucking
wanna-
skedaddle your little wheelchairs on across the handy park crossing line. But
I just want to shout out to Redline for using Luke's character for my name.
You
Yeah,
finally
it was, like, merged
noticed.
into one big.
Oh, I noticed, but I didn't want to say anything because
You should have. I was waiting for you to notice. I'm not going to change it, but I was waiting
I didn't
for you to
expect you to.
notice.
Apparently I'm Luke today.
Well, no, it's
And
very
Final
clearly
Ferrari.
labeled with your name.
So before I make this joke, you are of legal age, correct, Luke?
Yeah.
Cool. So, Ferrari, are you in Luke or is Luke in you?
Yes.
Why was it not important that Alterari was of legal age?
I know Ferrari is legal.
But he lives in a different country.
I mean, you all know I'm old, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another boomer, nice. You want to join PL?
Meets the criteria for
When
PL.
I'm ready to retire, I'll be right there.
The offer only lasts until you're 65.
you know what's
Commander
funny is
12.
that y'all are gonna have to wait till like Goon Swarm ages out before y'all can finally take us. I think, which is only like 2 years down the road, probably.
Wait till you guys do what? Age up?
Where'd Redline go?
Age out.
What does that mean?
Like before we get too old and can't play the fucking game anymore. Like we're all getting old.
Oh.
Thanks for just fucking ruining my.
I mean, it's not like it was
get it.
a
I'm in
good
PL.
point, anyways. Like it was.
PL's still kind
a
of young,
bad.
though. I mean,
It was a bad thing to say. Like I don't even know what you're saying half the time you're saying it. Like age out? What are you talking about? The oldest people in the world play this video game. Have you met Vince Draken?
Not personally, no.
it was I was making old jokes, and then Pitts was like, "He's not that old."
Problem is, boss, that it doesn't really work, right? Because the speed of Eve is like slower than Pinochle.
That's why we have to have tie-dye fights so our guys can keep up with it.
Yeah, I know that's right. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about how most of your FCs can only perform in tie-dye, and that if the coalitions that were fighting each other were a fraction of the size that they actually are, the fucking war would have gone so much differently. Because Pappy has FCs that can actually think on their toes. Well, meanwhile, Goons
Are
only
you gonna
have
do
like
a
2 of
speed
them.
issues with Pappy? They just took 13 months to actually do what they did. Seriously, I don't. I think you need to roll that whole topic back, Redline.
No, I'm not gonna
Goons
roll
wouldn't
anything
even be
back.
able to do any of that.
Actually, no, the tie-dye
Ferrari
thing's a fair
is
point.
turbo feed. They can't like it's not a workable theorem for them. The structure spam that they had, the advantage that they did, which they like just drop kick punted across the galaxy. It took us 13 weeks every structure in 4 regions save 1 constellation. So I don't want to hear about this. Oh, Pappy, somehow like you just didn't have any structures outside of 1DQ or didn't have any regions outside of 1DQ. Like there is we didn't take 13 months to siege 1DQ and give up. We took 13 weeks or 13 months to glass the rest of the galaxy, and then we got down to 1 constellation, which because of the defender game mechanics, we got stuck 3 months, and it's because of the lessons we learned from him. Because unlike apparently we can take poor experiences. Yeah, no, that's not working out.
Look, so basically, I think he was trying to say is the TLDR was 13 months to glass, 4, 5 fucking defended regions. You guys are like, oh, look how fast we can do it. Oh, you're not defending it. It's the same fucking shit like when we were taking your keep stars and you're like, oh, we're not defending them, so it doesn't mean anything.
It's just
Guess what?
floodplain
We're not
delve, dude.
defending it. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we're showing you how fast undefended structures can be rolled.
It's how fast your work is being undone.
But anyway, back to what Redline was saying
how
about
fast
the
did we
title.
glass
That was a
40
quick
stars in Delve?
juxtaposition.
Well, no. Well, I
did
wanted
we-
to talk about this one before Jeremy went off in his rant, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, tie-dye fights. Like, this is something we've been talking about, like, when we're in command comms and we're bored in tie-dye fights. Like, how many FCs do you think, like, you know, top-level FCs, would actually still be a top-level FC if there was no tie-dye? Because that's what they're good at.
Me, I would be a top level FC, guaranteed.
What if they are actually bad at tie-dye and good at fast?
How does one be good at tie-dye? That's what I want to know.
Well, you got to
Because
think.
everything's so
You don't have to
slow.
think on. Yeah, you don't have to you think on your feet. You know, like
So-
you got to think, Luke. You're AU as well, so we don't actually really have that many tie-dye fights. So we're used to thinking on the fly. But when you're in a tie-dye fight, everything's a lot slower. You got more time to like pick your targets and like observe the field
It's
and
not
see
got
what's
anything
going
to
on.
do with that. It's all got to do with the amount of entertainment you can provide. If you can set for 14 hours, like we did in X47, and entertain fleets, if you can set for like 3 hours and kill a Keepstar and bullshit with your buddy Alterari Phoenix, who left, and jacked off fleets for like 4 hours and entertain your fleet, then that's your tie-dye FC. But if you can sit there and target call like a fucking auctioneer and make split-second decisions to move your fleet where it needs to be most effective without having 10 minutes to counter correct your bullshit mistake that you just made, then you might be a good FC.
Slav may be my favorite target caller out of Imperium. I don't know if any of y'all experienced that, but it was a very entertaining experience for me.
I think
Apparently,
half
everyone in Pappy loves
half
Thomas.
of what he says in half of what he says when he's calling targets is in that order. He'll say one target in that order, in that order, in that order.
Yeah, okay. Target
But he's a
this,
good
my
target
dudes.
caller.
My dudes. Target this, my dudes.
Now this guy, my dudes.
Yeah, I'm actually really good in Tada because the game is slow enough to where I can actually control all the people that are in my fleet. Which is
Same. Anchoring
By
is
that
really
you mean
easy too.
multi-boxing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like you know, I like throwing fleets of Celestis at you guys. Those are really obnoxious, I bet. I don't know what it's like on the other side, but I can imagine that they're super obnoxious. I think Severance like primaried my entire little multi-box squad of Celestis
Are we talking shit
last
on
time.
Severance?
Why?
I come from Severance way back in the day. Beautiful
Yeah,
people.
Severance is good. Probably was a good place.
I come from.
I wasn't even talking shit. I was just telling him they primaried my
I'm
Celestis.
really fucking drunk and high. I have no idea what anybody's saying.
Thank you for your contribution there, Dom.
You're welcome. I feel good.
Severance is going to get shit on there soon.
I really hope Severance pulls through. They're a bunch of good people.
They were cool back when I was with them.
They're pretty solid. They're a solid group. Y'all probably should have widotted them.
They're still in better shape than they were before the war.
It's kind of true.
What were they doing before the war? I don't know.
They were in Provi Block.
Yeah.
KBP.
That's right. Yeah.
Pocket, yeah.
Well, there
they
was
were
a
in
little
probably
bit of
forever,
time
weren't they?
before
Yeah,
the war
CVA
started.
and Severance, yeah.
That they just became.
We were up in with the Morse Mihi there, and then we went back to Pravi in 2011, maybe. And I think they'd been there until they got kicked out recently.
I remember them being in. They were there back when, like, the time I was in fucking Providence and Sylph Alliance.
I said they moved there. We moved back, took the station from Evoke in 2011 KBP, and then they didn't leave until just recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to take that station. 6 of us did that in Bombers. Flipped that fucking thing. It was awful. It took a long time.
See who else? Who else is in? Let's see, Brave and Test are gone. AARP. They're what's happening with them? Where are those little shitters going? Dude, that C6Y pocket down there is like the bane of my existence. None of y'all didn't even know what I'm fucking talking about, except for Jeremy, who had to like get called down there every night.
Wait,
I was the QRF for you, that little pocket, man. Anytime that anytime you came, I got like a phone call, just a red telephone, and it was on my
Alright,
way, dude.
So let's focus up. Let's focus up on a topic. It's been 47 minutes and we've jumped around insanely. Let's talk about these alliances that are actually dying and and alliances that are leaving, right? Let's actually get some real fucking information out here. So, number one, we're gonna go through the dying and dead alliances first, and then we'll get to the juicy ones, the Tests and the Braves at the end of the list. Okay? So we know Fed Up, they disbanded. They were trying to hold the fountain, fighting LSH or whatever, Forsaken Empire, and now everybody in Fountain is just gone, and it's the Initiative, who apparently are moving there for the first time in history. Right?
First time.
First that ever lived in Fountain. Anybody.
Yeah, it's not like we evicted them from
It's like a frontier.
Fountain not too long ago.
Like the frontier out there.
I mean, I think
No
it's
one's done it.
especially funny because Brisk's character on the meta show was like named Fountain something, but he was
You know what it is. Go ahead and say it. Don't
Fountain
pretend like you don't.
Frank.
Yeah, see.
I only know that because Kale just said it, but
whatever.
And
Now, is there anybody from Fed Up that can confirm? Because there's two different stories that I've heard about Fed Up. The first is that they're going to be consolidating their alliance into a singular corporation and then joining Test Alliance. The second is that they're just fucking off. Like, half of them are fucking off back to Faction Warfare to start their own, like, new thing, and the other half are joining a corporation and joining Test.
I know Silver did an interview. So Silver, the leader of Fed Up, talked about how they're putting, I think he called it the Alliance on Ice, or this could be my interpretation of someone's interpretation. But yeah, that folks were kind of going and doing their own things for a little bit, just because people want to try something new or do something different.
Because solo's fun sometimes. I like solo.
Yeah, I mean, they Fed Up started out as a faction warfare alliance, so it doesn't make sense that some folks would want to go back to it, or at least try it again.
I mean, it's still dead, right?
I wish faction
Silver's in
warfare
chat.
was good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if Silver's in chat, Silver can come on and talk. If Silver wants to do that.
We have like 3 different Silvers. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, cool. I summarized it. Thanks, Silver.
Oh, nice, awesome. So that makes sense. So that's cool. So you guys aren't really dying. You're just getting back to your roots, kind of like what Brave is. Well, we'll get there. Next on the list, this was just today, and I'm being told that this is actually true, and that it's warped intentions are mothballing. So they're
true.
going the way of the dinosaur. Not the test dinosaur, because we'll get there later, but the actual dinosaurs where they got killed by meteors.
I think they're joining Brave, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are
so,
rolling.
Yeah, they're mothballing and rolling into Brave. So
Some
Brave.
people
wish them
might
luck.
say, yeah, some people might say that this is a wildly inappropriate thing to do.
I see what you did there. I didn't like it, but I saw it.
Redline's about to cry.
It just hurts,
Actually,
you know.
burning. What hurts?
Just some of the things that Greg says, it just physically hurts, you know. You know that I was part of when we originally white-eyed.
So someone is asking me if I need a dictionary to find out what the word merger means. The answer is no, I really don't. I'm good. I know what it means, but either way, I don't really care. So we've got that happening. What else do we have happening? What other alliances are in Legacy? Legacy
AARP
Coalition Alliances, Eve. Well, I know I've seen a lot of things on AARP on Reddit. I've seen a lot of like crazy shit happening there. There's like some strange English second language person that is posting stories about leaders stealing things and all this and that, which is kind of spooky.
I'm spooked, that's for sure.
Is that true? Or is AARP's leadership making out like a bandit on everything? I guess we don't have anybody here that's.
Then nobody, I think, is. I mean, I don't know what's happening to ARP. I've heard rumors of everything in the world happening to them, including rolling into tests. So I couldn't speak on it. I don't think anybody else here can by their silence. So.
No.
Well, so currently on the Test Alliance Please Ignore Wiki page, there are 11 alliances within the Legacy Coalition. We've already talked about.
Oh, Evictus.
We've already talked about
spicy.
Fed Up. Fed Up is cooked. We've talked about Warped Intentions, cooked.
Right, Silver.
Hello, Silver. Already replaced, potentially cooked. Don't know. Severance. What is Severance doing? Did we talk about them a little bit?
Let me see if it's public knowledge or not.
Who cares if it's public knowledge? It's Trash Talk Tuesday. Crack a beer and leak your shit, dog.
It's Trash Talk Tuesday, not get blacklisted Tuesday.
I will leak as things are now, so they will be in future.
You're a cocksucker.
I am.
By the way, Silver's here if you want to ask about Fed Up.
Evening.
Oh, hello, Silver. So what's happening with Fed Up? Can you give us the inside scooperinos?
Did y'all finally get fed up?
One could say that we're fed up. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Like, yeah, we've been living in Fountain for the last couple months. We've been in Alliance for like 5 years. Been bounced all over the place. Living the strife of a middle-sized alliance, and looking at the environment now, we just thought it'd be the right thing to do to let our guys go and do some different things and put the alliance on hold rather than drag them across the universe and not have a home and that kind of thing. So we had 2 sponsored options. We are sending one corporation to test. So if anyone wanted to stay with test, they go and do that. And the other option was to stay with my corporation and go do PvP in a non-block aligned alliance, and just do some PvP and take a break from being in charge for a while.
So is your corp just like gonna go do like small corp things like hood rat shit in space, or are you gonna be joining a different alliance?
We're gonna join a different alliance for now.
Which one?
Can't say yet.
God damn it, Silver! Just leak.
It's a Dread Bomb. I can already tell you it's gonna be like RC or Dread Bomb or something like that. Dude.
Definitely not Wrecking Crew. No.
Psychotic tendencies.
Red
Tissue?
Don't tell me you're going to Red Alert or
Oh
something.
God, Tissue.
God,
no.
I'm like
I wouldn't be caught dead with Tissue.
United Federation
I'm
of
out
Conifers.
I'm out here just like scratching my arm and shit. Like, y'all get any more of them leaks? Like, I crave it. I need it.
I would tell you, but like, you know,
Bob?
I would tell you,
What?
but like against popular belief, we do have supers and stuff that we'll have to move. So I don't want to like tell you
All 5
I'm
of
going.
them, dude.
Yeah,
Nobody-
5 of them.
Bro, nobody watches this show anyways, right? This number that you see of people is not fucking. It's not real. They're view bots. It's view bots.
View bots.
It's all view bots.
Now you're gonna get banned.
I'm just trying to get more viewers than Rampage Inc. It's not working currently.
I think that it's going to be Volta.
Maybe.
They're
I
very
like Volta.
advanced robots. Anyways, so tell us, who's fed up joining? We need to know.
People deserve answers.
We're fed up
Block.
with waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I told you, a bunch of groups are going different ways. My corp will be joining a different alliance. And once we get all safely moved there, then you'll know. Not that it matters.
To be fair, y'all, every time that y'all like moved and like set up somewhere, like a month later, somebody was on your doorstep trying to like shit on you.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
there's a good reason for that, right?
was there though? Did y'all like piss people, or is it just? I think it's just like more happenstance. I don't feel like you've like made anybody bitter at you.
We have our enemies, but you know, I always said for the U.S. time zone, content is a little bit rough to get, and Fed Up was like always that perfect size, like not quite big enough, not too small, where somebody could get entertaining content without too much risk, right?
Yeah, you guys always took the fight, you know.
Yeah, no, and we always fought. I'd rather be evicted and burn than, you know, not fight. So we've always done that.
Yeah,
We fought everyone. We fought Snuff. We fought Skill You. We lived on the front lines of the FRT war. Like, you know, I don't think we get enough credit. I know we get shit talked a lot.
I, for one, really enjoyed like taking Hanzo Viper and just doing like an RKO ring toss between 2 fleets with him. That was a lot of fun with you.
Yeah, you know, the Fountain campaign was good. It was, you know, not too many people were watching that direction during the war, but there were people living in Fountain that had to be removed before I could move in, right?
Well, and you did a great job moving them. I'm sorry that you didn't get to keep it. It feels like you could have done great things with Fountain. Fed Up Fountain, like it's 2 Fs. Now there's a 3rd F because you guys are leaving.
Triple F coalition.
Triple F. Is that who you're joining?
Bro.
Triple F.
Fappy.
So how about Evictus?
Everyone's clear what Fappy is, right?
Yeah.
We weren't fighting FE, and we weren't fighting LSH either.
You're fighting horniness?
Sometimes.
So are y'all looking forward, like when you join Vota, are you looking forward to fighting Frat?
Yeah, I'm looking to fight anyone.
Got him to admit it.
I mean, just
Redline, did you not
said
just
it,
catch that?
Just because you said it so fast, like just because he didn't even hear what you said, dude.
He knew exactly what I
I'm
said.
looking forward to fighting FRT. Yeah, sure.
That's the
Okay.
3rd F is frat.
All right, fair enough. All right, moving on to Rosetta Regnum. Has anyone heard anything about Rosetta Regnum?
They're long dead.
Yeah,
They are?
They're 6
They
feet
were-
under.
Don't trust our wiki, man. That shit's fucking outdated.
Okay.
They were
Bet.
renters and they died renters.
Okay. And
That's
then
not
we know
exactly true. That's not fair. They were not renters. Did they
Did
survive
they
the
pay to live in
backline
their space?
shit toss? No, they did not pay to live in their space. They were legacy members.
But they paid with their
Yeah, we,
lives.
we helped them clear some space in Aquarius, and that was like the last I heard of them until I was
But
like,
they
oh, where's
somehow
these
got
guys?
evicted
Oh
by
yeah,
Delta
you're not
Squad.
there anymore.
They weren't
They-
even Rizito when that came down there. They folded pretty much in Amencia, and a couple of them created a new alliance and went.
Oh, I remember that
Sentinel
now. I remember
Dawn.
that. Okay, yeah. All right, and then the Watchmen, same thing happened to them, right? Just
They're long dead too.
okay.
They
Yeah, they
died
died
almost before
pretty
the
much.
war.
Yeah, before the war.
And then
They were in an
No one
off
was
time.
watching the Watchmen.
Requiem Eternal, they're going belly up, aren't they?
Yes. Wraith Pipe. Well, no, Wraith's Corp's already left. Their main FC Corp, Owl War, they just dropped. There's a few other corps dropping as well.
And
They've
what
kind
about
of been
Vindictive?
Wraiths and Brave. Isn't
Wraith's and Brave. He used to be in
Yeah.
Requiem, and then he dropped like mid-war to Brave, and then he's dropping Brave and going to do his own thing. But
So
that's,
is
that's besides the
Requiem
point.
going to be disbanding twice in the same war?
Seems
I mean,
like
technically, once they were forcibly disbanded, it's not like they made the choice actively the first time.
I mean, how do you define like what's a forcible disband? Like, is all your members quitting forcibly
Probably if
disbanding?
you get
'Cause-
cooed.
Yeah, no, a director waking up annoyed with someone and then closing the alliance. I think that's
today?
forcibly closed.
Today I will close the alliance.
And then we know Evictus is joining up with AOM. Like they're gonna tag
And
team and do stuff.
I don't know. Yes, they're
And
going to
Vindy?
stay in ESO. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's rumor intelligence that Vindy will stay with them, but
Okay, so that was another question. And then Severance, I've asked about Severance 3 times. I'm pretty sure you guys have told me what Severance is doing twice. No, you
Severance is
wouldn't
joining
tell me.
Wrecking Crew.
no.
I just
wouldn't-
made that up.
You wouldn't tell me what Severance is doing because you're a cocksucker. Tell
I
me
don't
what they're
know.
doing.
I told you what they're doing. As things are now, so
Jeremy.
they will be. As things are now, so that they will be.
No one knows what that means.
See? Well, it tells you everything you need to know, but also I'm not leaking anything at all.
As below, so above.
That's not at all, Marius. Be quiet.
All right. Anyways, so that really leaves two groups in Legacy, and that is Test and Brave, who have decided to go their separate ways. So I have a special announcement on Trash Talk Tuesday that you can all take to the fucking bank. Villy was not wrong. This was a war for extermination because somebody got exterminated. It's just, it wasn't the Imperium, it was Legacy, and they're dead now. All of them.
Sandrin
Second
has some stuff he can talk about. I don't know if you want
Does
to.
anyone actually know any of the other alliances in Legacy that aren't Test
That's
or
all.
Brave?
Yes,
That's all there are.
We went through them all.
Send
We
it to
just
me.
Name them
Yeah,
again.
live on Requiem, Severance,
See, you
Brave.
can't even name them. We already have
I'm naming them right now, Rain. What are you talking?
I'm just showing you. Okay, name all the alliances in Imperium.
Goonswarm,
Goonswarm,
Bastion,
Initiative,
TNC,
Bastion,
Initiative,
Goonswarm.
Snuffed Out,
See, you can't name those either. See,
Dread
nobody
Bomb,
cares.
Wrecking Crew.
Rain, I'm going through them and you just interrupt me and go, no, you don't know it. Thank you for proving my point.
Yeah, that's
you're
that's all
literally
I'm doing.
I can
you're
name all
wrong.
the Imperium
I can
alliances
name
right
them.
now. Goonswarm and Goonswarm Pets.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
name PanFam alliances.
Pan
without
Fam
it-
Alliance.
No,
Fraternity.
without saying any of the. No, that's PandaFam. Name PanFam alliances without using any of the pandemic ones.
So
Northern
NC.
Coalition.
Northern
Recon,
Coalition.
NC,
Recon,
Slice, Intrepid Crossing, Slice Pirates, that other Slice Pet Alliance.
Vinny,
Brothers
Vidi,
of Kangari,
Vici.
VVV, yeah.
That's Panda Fam.
VVV.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no,
they're
it's not.
winter.
They're Pan Fam.
VVV. Yeah, Cal's
No,
fucking
no.
Chinese, dude. They're
Rennie
all.
Vinny
Who
Vici
cares?
is part of
We
Pan
claim.
Fam.
No,
we claim him.
VVV
We claim
is
him
Pan
and them.
Fam.
We claim them. They are ours. Ours.
Are you
Wait,
in Pan Fam
yours.
again?
Wait, not ours. Yours.
You remember I forgot he wasn't in this.
So
Leaks.
essentially, Legacy is dead. Long live the Dino, is I think what we can say here, boys. The age of man is over. The age of the dinosaur begins.
Oh my
Does it?
god.
Okay, Septimus Cygnus.
Where am I in the past? Ah, yes, that explained the laser raptors.
You still have Brave, Jeremy, who I think is actually going to outgrow and outperform Test.
The Brave is gonna be like I have made a tapestry for you with someone assisting me.
Not a tapestry.
I will put it in the public chat of what will happen when Brave moves to the place which they are going. Let me find it real quick. Aquila helped me improve it somewhat, so I won't sue him for copyright infringement.
Okay.
Why not?
Here it is.
Guys-
Okay, I'm posting it in. I'll copy the link. I'm gonna post it in the Discord and in the stream chat.
So for anybody that is upset that I'm a little bit overzealous today, it's because I've been drinking. I haven't been sleeping very well lately, so I'm really tired, and I'm trying to use my alcohol to make me more tired so that I can actually sleep tonight. That's what's happening. So you
Just
have
do
to bear
20
with
hours
me.
of move offs, dude. It's
That's a
the
good plan.
best
I do that a
fucking
lot.
sleeping pill.
Hell, I might even, do some other stuff that I can't talk about on Twitch upstairs in my palace.
Run, Redline's wife, run!
Jesus. Anyways, so that's what's happening to Legacy. It's gone. Like, literally gone. Just an entire coalition in Eve has been destroyed as a result of 13 months of playing who has the bigger...
In fairness, Legacy was always well, it's kind of dead now, so I guess I can talk about it. Legacy was always kind of shoddily constructed. I hate to use that word. It was always a bunch of smaller alliances who were kind of destabilized. I'm not going to make any history analogies to that because I'll be called a nerd.
Well, you're a nerd anyways, so... And yes, I would
It's-
say that they were, exterminated. I already said that like 3 minutes
It's
ago. I literally said those
almost
words. Come on, dude.
like we knew that, though.
Yeah, it was Legacy. I think we won the war. There's no guarantee that they would have still stayed together. Like there's, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think we would have. You know, the disjointed nature
Yeah.
that you're talking about is actually helpful. It was a nice environment for a mid-sized alliance to be in because you could still be you and have the backup you need to survive. That was the charm of Legacy. We weren't always on our deathbed. We were quite good actually in the beginning of the war.
Well, listen. I help you out a lot out in Fountain. Like that. I don't know. To me, it's always kind of been like a lot of my time in test was spent helping out in like Quirius and Fountain and stuff, which I'm not complaining about. They were good fights and they were good content. But I'm bringing up as a point to as to what Legacy was like before the kind of collapse of it all. They were small and it was really disjointed, and it was kind of hard for them to defend because they were all kind of scattered around the place. I think that everybody who's in Pappy, even if we get lower fleet numbers from this outcome, it'll actually be more stable because we're less spread out among where we're going. So it's either going to be Geminate, Outer Ring, or somewhere else that you're not part of Legacy anymore. So that's kind of my positive spin on it.
No, I agree. I think the weakness of Legacy those are always held too much space, and it was too much to defend all the time.
Yes. You should all
Second half of the war, we went all in,
Geminate.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, moved everything to Delve.
If only everybody would have gone all in the first half of the war, then probably would have won, maybe. I don't know.
I highly recommend you guys for anybody else who has hoarding issues. What's that show that where the person comes in as like you're a fucking hoarder and then like cleans your house and shit like that?
It's
I don't know, but I really like the one where she tells you to thank your clothes that you're throwing away. If it doesn't spark joy, then you're not keeping it.
Yeah, so like we had to thank our key stars. We throwing away. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense, right? Like, okay, never mind. I'm gonna go into something unrelated. Sorry.
Go ahead, Rain.
So what she's talking about, right? So humans they just accumulate all this stuff, right? But if you don't use that stuff, then all it does is just create distractions to you. So like think of like a ship in your hangar. You have tons of like doctrine ships, stuff you love to fly, stuff you tried. And then you have some ships you don't really use, but they still sit there staring at you. And so when you're like, oh, I want to go out. Oh, I lost these other ships and I haven't replaced them yet, but I could fly these, but they don't really spark joy or give you inspiration to do things. So rather than wasting your time and not having as much fun as you could flying these ships you don't really care about, but you have and you kind of feel bad about it, you should just either give them away, sell them, or trash them, so that way you can focus time and energy on things that truly bring you joy.
Or you could whelp them. I think in Eve
Well,
Online would be
you
the.
could you could whelp them, but they still won't be as fun whelping them as they would your favorite ship. And it's the same with clothing. So instead of spending time trying to put together an outfit that you're not really as confident in, you should just get rid of those clothes and focus on clothing that does spark joy and like you feel confident in. Same
Well,
with
I
Eve.
think for her it's more about just like they take up space in your home. Like, there's a finite amount of stuff that you can put in your storage room. So
Man, have you noticed the webcam Tuesdays at 97% now?
I love
I
how
didn't
much we
notice that.
derailed this conversation.
Well, we were talking about, dead alliances and stuff, so I mean, might as well kill a conversation while we're at it, eh?
So
clean out the hangers.
my question is PanFam from this? Like, are there corps like exodusing from PandaFam?
No.
Yeah, that's just interesting to think about. I don't know. I see a lot of new faces in test.
Why is it interesting to think about? You have one group who literally said to your members for like 6 to 8 months that you were gonna
Well,
have
it's
a
interesting
new
to think
home in
about because I just don't
Delve.
think normally. So it's interesting to have
We
a thought
know.
in general.
Yeah, I still don't understand. Like this is the one mind-boggling thing is like, and I said this like y'all may have just considered it me shit talking, but I was like, why the fuck are y'all colonizing Delve already? Like, why did y'all go and just like set the fuck up as if there was nobody nearby who couldn't just like all of a sudden at the swing of the fucking wind, like just exterminate everything?
I never lived in Esoteria. Like I joined when we joined test. We joined when everything was in T5. So I was never involved in those decisions. So I can't.
It was like you guys were forcing yourselves to believe that it's okay that you're going to live in Delve.
You have to fully commit to like.
Never not believe.
Yeah.
Bill, never not believe. Bill, come on, never not believe.
That's not never not believing. That's just like, being kind of a good investor on the space,
Being a good investor, like buying Wriggle.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned something about that, Jeremy.
I just sold some calls today, dude. I'll be buying some Wriggle. I want you to tell me about the prospects of it, dude.
Wait, what do you mean you sold calls?
I made some. Here, I'll post it in the stock channel real quick.
The Wolf of Wall Street, like
Did you had these calls, right? Like, and you didn't sell like naked calls, did you?
Well, that's kind of what I did.
Oh no.
I made money, so it's okay.
You can hear the disappointment in his voice. You've disappointed Bill, Jeremy. Apologize.
What'd you do?
What are you talking about? That's what you do. You sell calls when they're up, and then you rebuy them when they go back down. Like, you take the quick profit. It's like a slot machine, dude.
You're killing me here. No, that is not what you do.
I mean, don't you buy them when they're low, and then when they go up a bit, you sell them to buy other low ones?
You buy calls, yeah.
In stocks. There's my 5-day profit and loss.
You don't sell calls because then someone could be like, I want to buy those fucking shares, and then they exercise your call, and then all of a sudden you got to buy hundreds of fucking shares.
What? No, that's not. Look, you buy an option contract, okay?
Yes, you're correct.
10 cents. You sell the option contract at 30 cents.
Yes, but Jeremy said he just sold. He didn't actually buy the original calls.
I did. I hit the button on Weeble that said buy,
internet
and then I hit
Pew,
the button
pew.
that said sell.
So this is happening in Jita, right?
No.
Then why are we talking about it?
Because it's relevant. I don't know.
You're like, it's real. Wait, no, it's not.
Anyways, anywho's, what are we talking about, dude? I don't remember.
I think it would be cool to sell like futures contracts on like some of the
why we moved
minerals.
to T5?
Well,
some of
let's
the
talk
minerals
about
in game.
let's talk about the next phase, right? We've talked about how everybody's feeding on the way out of Delve because that's what you do, I guess. We've talked about alliances that are gonna just be dying, how Legacy Coalition doesn't really exist anymore. And then now we're on to the future of EVE Online. Do you think
EVE
there's
2
ever going to
when?
be a war like this ever again?
Yes, there's one every 4 years.
Not to this scale, no. Not, I don't think. We've seen the limitations of server load. We've seen the strength of structures and tether, how they are now. I don't think there will be a war of this scale until both of those change. At least that's my view anyway.
Exactly. Like,
some of
how
the things are
you...
going to change, and then some of the things are going to be adapted, and some of the things are going to be shifted around and stuff, and then there'll be a war, and there'll be like a mini war in 2 years, and there'll be another big war in 4 years, just like every other fucking 2 to 4
But
year period.
how is any of any alliance gonna get the energy to do that if...
It's the same way they got the energy to do this one and the ones before it.
But people didn't understand the weight of things like...
No, he's right. Like,
it doesn't matter like how like, oh, the servers are shitty. This will never, like, it's going to happen inevitable. It's inevitable. It's a consistent fucking clock.
Oh no, there's always going to be wars, but I don't think there's going to be one of this scale until there are changes made to structures and to what the server can, actually hold. I mean, last week, Bill, you said the same thing when you undocked. Even when we weren't in system, you guys lagged out just from the bubbles.
yeah, I think the theater might be different. I think there'll be another big war, but I think this was kind of like, this will be the big one for like the next 10 years, at least, or so. Like,
that's what they said about
10
Declan.
years.
It'll be the one for the next 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
What the fuck
are
do
you
you
talking?
mean?
Are you talking about the one become the
Luca.
crisis? The shadow extends west or whatever that Matani wants to do, or extends east. Matani has been talking, and I have heard this from goons, so I know it's unreliable. About a I don't know, like,
Why are y'all laughing at Jeremy? He's not funny.
but I am right.
He made a good joke. Yeah, it came from Goons, so it's not reliable. Like, I got to give Jeremy props. That was a fucking good one, brother.
You just said earlier that I've never lied to you.
Well, are you in goons? You're you're in goons. So you probably lied
No,
to me
he's
at
in
some
AMOC.
point.
AMOC's better than Goons.
That's not. We are one.
But there will be some kind of great retribution for this, like you talking about, become the crisis or whatever, and I don't really see it working
Yeah,
out.
God.
The crisis will be boredom after this war is done, probably.
He was, I reckon he was half a key in when he jumped on and started spouting that shit, man. I don't even know if he knew what the fuck he was talking about.
The crisis of Matani is boredom. It's not entertainment.
He had been playing too much Stellaris, clearly.
We are. No, it's just like we're on the offensive now, and it's just like
Your first offensive strike against Test resulted you turbo feeding 30 bill and us losing like 600 mil. I don't see it
Goons
going
are an
right.
alliance that is capable of a real offensive.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, Gerg, you're
I
like
mean-
the dumbest motherfucker that is on this show. I thought
no, Gerg,
Marius was, but you're clearly like setting the bar at the top.
I was there
Philly's
for like the
character had a
grassing
sex
of
change?
tribute. I was there for the glassing of tribute. Goons can do an offensive campaign. It's a matter of like, it's a lot of varying factors, including who stays
Hold up, I got you.
with.
So what determines whether or not a goon can do an offensive action is whether or not the people... Oh, hey, TikTok. Whether or not the people that live there are staying there or not. If they're leaving, then the offensive action works really well. If they're staying, then they have to fight for it. And they don't have a lot of stamina. They get tired quickly.
Are you saying Goon FCs have a problem of finishing early?
We're old, dude.
Y'all are so incorrect. Redline, you were part of the fucking, like, weren't you in Goons when we like wiped out the fucking North?
You mean
Yeah,
the
4
glassing
cube
of
stars
tribute?
in one day?
Tired after 2 months, dude.
We
I
go
was
at such a
there.
high. We go at such a high fucking speed, high energy pace, though. Like,
Bill,
Yeah, man.
faster is better.
It's like the soldiers of World War II. You're just full of whiskey and coke.
Why is
The
it
problem
always
with fast
Yeah.
campaigns is that they're not conducive to bashing lots of structures.
Why is it always
Like,
World War II
we
references with you guys? Can't you just like talk
That's
about a
World War
video
One,
game like
thank
it's a
you.
video game?
Hey,
What do
I
you-
was gonna reference the HRE when talking about Legacy, so
Yeah. Instead of
How can
Stellaris
Who?
references, we should have Hearts of Iron references.
I mean,
Yeah,
Sanchez has
let's
been a
let's
lot
have
of
Civilization 5 references. Who's Angry Gandhi?
Angry Gandhi is obviously Dunk Dinkle.
That one I can see happening. Yeah.
When
That's
when
fucking
did
funny.
Jeremy become funny all of a sudden? Like, what the fuck happened? And like, where did
What's
we
going
go?
on in this world? Yeah.
Jeremy's
Yeah.
always been funny.
He
Yeah.
has?
Funny looking.
I'm sorry, but I do have to
That's
clarify
very
for
toxic,
somebody in
Kel.
chat. Somebody says goons don't have stamina. Say the people that are fleeing their new forever home and delve because goons outlasted them.
I
For
mean,
your records, fam, I was in goons when we didn't have the stamina to keep pushing, and instead took 40 faction Fortizars in exchange for
blaming
leaving.
the rats.
When no,
Well,
that was
that-
different. That was later.
That
When we
northern
were literally leaving anyways. Like
that
we
was
were done.
we were up there way longer than what people thought, though.
I mean, yeah, there was the pureblind deployment from Reavers and all that stuff, but that wasn't like on an alliance level. For proper eviction, you do need the entire alliance. Like you're not just gonna take a SIG up there. I mean, you might actually take GEF up there because GEF is pretty much the entire alliance anyways, but you're not gonna have supers and shit at the same capacity as you would when you went to Tribute and Veil.
Also, dude, those
Maybe. I don't
drifters.
know. Yeah, those drifters were bullshit. You were planning on leaving that anyways.
I wasn't. I was still moving ahead.
I mean, everybody else was planning on leaving.
Debatable.
Just needed a good excuse.
If goons were the ones invading Delve, they would have gone home by the end of October.
Why would Imperium have stayed longer? To finish the job. Like, the whole point was to go up there and kill GOTG, kill CO2, kill all the people that had pissed you off in World War B, or the Casino War, as you so aptly call it. That was the entire point. And we didn't do it. And then we just left.
You got CO2's no longer in existence.
Okay, yeah, CO2.
Slice,
but everybody else
Slice
is
jumped
just
from
still there.
GOTG, and then GOTG was pretty much whatever
CO2
GOTG
did not
was.
die in the Northern Campaign, though. CO2
Yes,
died
they-
No,
later.
they died before we went north, if I recall correctly.
No, when we attacked Pureblind and all that shit, that's when CO2 died. Straight up.
No.
Yeah, huh?
No, huh?
CO2 was dead way before that.
Yeah, but not
CO2
like
died when
not
the
an
Gigax
alliance
judge flip.
Yeah, but not like an alliance ticker dead thing.
Sure,
they were
but the
alliance
real alliance
ticker
was
dead.
long dead at that point.
Well, yeah, sure, but the alliance ticker was dead, during that war. I was there. I saw it happen live.
Sure.
Okay, red line, sure.
What? I was. What do you mean?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's toxic. You guys are fucking... I'm muting myself again. You host your own fucking show.
All right, cool.
We do. It's on Saturday. You should watch it.
Isn't it in like aughts time zone, the autistic time zone?
It's just upside down, that's all.
What?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
just
a
upside
saying?
down. That's what I always get fucking told. The people are like, oh, you just don't understand cows because you're upside down. We've actually, on our bot, when you react with the Australian flag on the test Discord, it actually reposts the message upside down because Australians are upside down. We can only read upside down.
How come? I made a comment about this. Somebody was making fun of PanFam or Horde's like main channel about how they just post a bunch of weeb shit.
Gotten yelled at for doing that.
Good days.
But tests is all like an ongoing, never-ending argument about pineapple pizza. Why?
Pineapple
No,
belongs
it's
on
Vegemite.
pizza. That's why.
You don't
No,
understand test culture because you're not in it. But if you want to join test, I can hook you up.
So the major argument at the moment is between Vegemite, Marmite, and Bromite, or some weird fucking Borite or some crap. I don't know, but we all know
Borite is
Vegemite's
the acid,
superior.
I think.
What in God's name are those? I know what Vegemite and Marmite are, and I wish I didn't know what those were.
Vegemite is like I don't even fucking know actually.
Kale,
Vegemite's
tomorrow,
amazing.
I'm gonna go down to the store, get some Marmite, and get some Vegemite. I'll do a comparison. I'll film it on YouTube, but I'll ping it to test, and that's how we can see which one is better.
You guys need to know, right? It's the ratio of Vegemite to butter. You don't cake that shit on like it's fucking peanut butter. You got to
It's
put
just
like
light.
a nice tiny little bit just to like brown the.
Hey, I gotta go. I'll see y'all.
Bye, Bob.
Vegemite is made of yeast or something, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a
Baker's
yeast extract.
Why do you need
made from
that?
anger and
Why
shame
do you
and
need
salt.
Good for you.
Why do you need something that tastes like bread stuff to put on bread?
Because it tastes amazing, and it's what makes young Australians be able to survive everything that's trying to kill us in this country, including our own fucking politicians.
Fair enough.
Well, how else are we meant to survive? You know, redback funnelweb, blue ring octopus, you know, sharks and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
taipans, brown snakes.
Yeah.
Chocolate shakes. I can't remember how the song was.
Parents,
Yeah,
fairly
fairly
odd
odd
parents.
Floaty Crowny. That's what it's chocolate floaty crowny things. Okay, that's what it is.
Little floaty cruddy things. Yeah, no, there's a song about it. Like, go check it out. Like the Australia, you might get yourself killed. It's a pretty good song, and it goes through like everything that's trying to kill you in our country. But no, look, end of the day though, like actually getting back on track on Eve, like I wish all the alliances luck. You know, Silver, like good luck, man. I hope your corp smashes it out. I hope you get some great content.
Oh, I can ask Billy. Billy, is it public where Severance is going?
I don't know.
Okay, then I'll refrain.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Just leak it.
I'm not gonna leak it, dude, without prior authorization.
What do you need authorization for? What are you, some sort of baby?
Sandrin's my handler, dude. If Sandrin says it's okay, you know, whatever.
Generally, when people are given information, they're given that information because they can be trusted to understand the nature of that information, which means you don't leak it if you're not sure whether you can leak it.
I mean, that is just silly.
Yeah, when NC was put in the Pappy Discord, they really didn't understand the concept of like trust or anything like that, so it's understandable for them to leak.
Wow, you
Let me
really
let me just duck under these shots fired over here.
Damn. Anyways, what's left to talk about? I don't even know anymore, dude. Like it's only been an hour and a half, but we've gone through everything. I guess now
Talk
it's
about
time.
War bonds?
I guess
I know,
now
is
it's
it-
time to open up the Pappy Survivor helpline.
No, it's time to put all those points into the Webcam Tuesday. So if you have points for the channel, make sure you put them in there. It's nearly done. We're at 97%. It was like 80 something before when Redline was eating his Mexican food.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, there's that, but also I want to hear from people that survived the war that are either maybe they're staying with the group that they were in, maybe they're not. I don't really care. You know, whatever. I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts on the end of the war. Nobody else would give you a chance to say shit like this on TV. That's the beautiful thing about Trash Talk Tuesday.
About radio.
Reconquista, it won't be televised.
Oh, by the way, the Reconquista is absolutely going to be televised.
The Reconquista's probably gonna need some Viagra, knowing how long goons last.
What end of the war? Mittens did not approve that statement. I don't care what Mittens approved.
I mean, the war's entering its like second phase, honestly.
It's
So,
had many
let's-
phases already.
The Imperium will have an opportunity to continue the war and take the war back to drones if they choose to, obviously. The reality is we will see if that happens. My understanding is that there's been a statement issued where Imperium does not plan to take their supers towards the drones, which tells the majority of people with a brain that there's no real scenario in which the Imperium will conquer the drones, which means, to all degree, the war is either going to go to a stalemate or be effectively over. If an Imperium member wants to correct that statement, and if I'm incorrect, please let me know. That's just what I've been told.
It's
So
kind
where
of
did
like
that statement come
Korea.
from?
It's just on pause forever.
I can't remember if it is a fireside. Somebody told me that's what was said at the fireside, or where it came from.
Yeah, it was either like on one of the INN streams or a fireside or something. Yeah, someone mentioned it to me as well.
So Tess isn't actually next?
I mean, I have no doubt that we will soon see a deployment of either Reavers or GEF or a variety of the Imperium SIGs and squads to perhaps Curse to try and attack us from that angle, or Lowsec near Oceanin, where Initiative's got some stuff. I'm sure there's a variety of different angles they could come at us from, and they will harass with large subcapital fleets for a while, and we'll see how those goes, obviously. But like, there's obviously a pretty realistic difference between heavy harassment and true on block level warfare.
Well, the beauty of Outer Passage, though, is that it's pretty like
There's
isolated.
No Outer Passage.
It's very isolated. Well, there is like
I'm
lots
sure it's
of ice
isolated, but isolation can work against you just as much as it can help you, right?
I'm talking about from a
I'm
like
sure,
if you go ahead, sorry.
I'm sure there's no doubt that the Imperium is going to have lots and lots of wormhole usage, lots of whaling fleets,
Yeah.
lots of large fleets through wormholes, etc., to try and cause havoc and harassment. And we'll see how that'll go. But it's very hard to project true kind of block on block level force from any significant distance. Sorry.
I'm looking forward to fighting Panda when he rocks up with his whaling fleets again.
So, Villy,
I think your assessment sounds right, though, Villy. I
I-
don't see us deploying like to everybody. It'll be the PvPers who want to go out and have fights, and the PvEers will go back to doing their thing.
So I know the Imperium has a very strict policy on no talking about future plans. Does Test
They
have
probably
a
don't have
similar?
any.
Does Test have a
You
similar
have to know what they are
policy?
before you can
Like,
talk about them.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the plan is for Test? Like, just
We're going to Outer Passage. Test is going to focus on rebuilding, getting a little bit healthy, getting back in shape for a little bit, taking a bit of a rest at the same time, I imagine, and we'll see what happens from there.
So you guys have been credited with starting pretty much every major offensive in EVE Online for the last 5 years. What do you think is going to happen in your absence?
I'm sure somebody else can do it for a change.
Somebody else's turn.
Hey man,
Look,
we went all in for this war to make it happen, so obviously somebody else has got to do the next one. We went all in, doubled up. We went all in, doubled up, and this time we went all in, and we
Doubled up.
we lost the hand, and we're not out of the game, but we're definitely hurting for it.
Okay, in your opinion, do you think Tess is in worse shape this time than when you were leading goons and kicked them out of Fountain that war? Which they were hurting pretty bad then. So I didn't.
Say that one again. So when is Test in worse shape?
Yeah, then the last time they got kicked out of Fountain fighting when they were just pretty much them fighting goons.
Oh no. They're not even remotely close to when Test was removed from Fountain in 2013.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, that Test could form 50-man fleets and had no super caps. This Test has significant super caps.
Right? That's what I thought too.
Still the ability to form large fleets. A bevy of strong corporations.
I skipped it on my assigned history of the empires of EVE Online reading.
And it was a mass exodus of Test at that time too. You're not really seeing that as much, right?
Correct. And I mean, I think that Test intended to go that way. I
had
think
no leadership at all. They all quit. Yeah.
No, look, fuck it. I'm in it for the long run. I'm going to help rebuild, and I'm sure a lot of the other FCs, Jeremy included, are planning to stick it out for the long run. You know, fucking thick or thin.
Yeah,
I think.
Listen, I'm sure there's going to be, before we make it to wherever we're going to stay, I'm sure we will probably have a couple people leave us, and I wish them the best. You know, this kind of a war is not for everybody, right? It's hard on the FC team, it's hard on the members, it's hard on the corps, it's hard on our allies, obviously. There's no way to mitigate against that, and it's not for everyone. Eve is a game that requires more of people than reasonably people should be expected to ask of people playing a video game. So
That is
spaceships are
that's
serious business.
Good statement. You are correct, Billy.
So we did see several hundred people that have left tests recently. What happened there? Was that just like an AFK kick, or is that people actually like leaving?
I'm not actually sure.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't tracking any significant movement, so my suspicion. My suspicion would be AFKs or something, but it's very well possible it was real people leaving. But if it was real people leaving, it would not probably be as we're evacing, so I don't know.
If you pull up the BRs from
5 people out of test, 310 out of Brave. So I don't know. It seems like a joint inactivity check, but also maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, there are people who have left, right? I can say that there are definitely people who have gone to do other things. But I mean, if you look at like the BR from 9Tech8GB today, it test formed 76 people out of a keep star in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have everything there, so the numbers are still there. Like, it's not like a bunch of like active pilots, active PvPers left.
How many members are still in the Pappy Assemble Discord? How many members were in the Pappy Assemble Discord?
That's OffSec.
At the very beginning, how many people were in the Pappy Assemble Discord? I need to know.
Well, I just left the Pappy Mining Discord.
Can I please know how many people were in the Pappy Assemble Discord? I just want to know the actual number of real people behind the movement.
Are you expecting somebody to give you that information?
Yeah, why not? Why is
do you think anybody actually bothered to count the people on Discord?
I haven't got a fucking clue.
You can see it in the server panel. Like, I could go to the Trash Talk Tuesday server and members and see that this server has 829 members on it. That's all I want, man.
In a world first, we were less vain than you, Redline. Nobody ever bothered to count or not that I'm tracking.
Well, I'm not counting. I'm just looking at
less
the number.
people at the end than the start because of an AFK kick. I can say, how about that? Are you happy with that? We kicked some AFK people and there were less people than we started with.
Well, I've probably got more than we started with.
I don't know how many we started with, so.
Yeah, I haven't got a fucking clue either, actually. Looking at Dotland, we haven't actually, like, the last corporation that left was iFed when Kilo fucked off with all their shit, so we haven't actually lost any corps yet.
But
so I guess all the numbers of people who are left, it's probably just people, like, deciding they want to do something else individually and taking their alts and stuff out, but we haven't actually lost a corp.
That's good that you didn't lose a corp, but I wonder, I don't know, man.
I mean, look, it's the same as Billy said. Like, if they do decide, then look, I'm going to wish them all the luck. I fought with everybody in Pappy, as same as I said to Silver before in Fed Up. Like, I've got a lot of respect for these guys, a lot of respect for their members. I'm not going to fucking, give them shit for leaving. Like, I wish them all the best. I hope they stay. If they do, I'm going to keep creating content for them. But in the end of the day, it's a game. You got to do what, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you love. You got to do what makes you feel good. Or, sorry, am I being too wholesome?
No, you're fine, dude. You do what you do.
But yeah, look, man. As I said, I'm planning to stay, and I hope everyone else does. I've got some mad plans for the future, for content creation. Try to get some fights. Try to get some good shit going. Don't have to worry about objectives now. We can actually start hunting for good fights.
I'm excited to get back to crabbing, dude. The economy needs to heal with an upcoming changes to scarcity. I think that it's going to be a very good time for those of us who are going to, are rebuilding, like we're rebuilding in a place that I've never been to this part of the space. I've never been to a lot of Leave, but I've never really been here at all. So
I'm very curious to see if the way industry works currently, I don't know if it is conducive to the same level of industrial activity as we had previously. So it's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic to watch.
It's going to be a learning curve for a lot of people.
I think all these industry changes are pretty stupid, but yeah, let's talk about the industry changes again, like 6 months after the fact. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm of two minds. One, I'm happy for the change up because I think stagnation's bad for the game. On the other one, from what I've been told by a lot of industry people, it's fucked. So
Anything that makes this game more grindy, I innately dislike.
I don't know. Isn't Naura going to have a blast? He gets to mine some more and it sells for more. He can dodge more taxes.
But I mean, it's the same thing that like. I'm glad I was able to get my Rorqual and my carrier when I was, because now I don't know how anybody will get into a Rorqual or a carrier. Like, it's
Well, I could tell you from a small alliance perspective, yeah, that sucks. Like it was a struggle for us to get a capital group together in the begin with, and now you're asking a small alliance who has a capital SRP program, but to really strain now to put together capitals. You know?
Yeah.
So it's
I think-
another part of why FedUp decided to pack it in for now. We can't operate. I think it's pretty well known that we can't operate under these conditions, really.
I think that carriers becoming more expensive is possibly almost a positive if they got a buff. Like I think that they could use some kind of like damage buff. But I think dreads being really expensive is a travesty. I think that dreads should really go back to go like 1 or 2 bill, because they spice things up in a way when you can just kind of more carefree with them. And
Well, the problem
I think-
becomes if supers are at their current price point and dreads are only 1 or 2 billion, then it creates a
Yeah.
situation where supers have no viable situation where they're effective, because a simple dread bomb will always be waiting in the wings to take you out, I guess you could say.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of, I don't know.
The price of all ships is relevant in an ecosystem where all ships compete against each other. It creates really awkward dynamics when one group of ships is out of whack compared to the rest, and usually results in that ship almost instantly becoming a meta almost entirely based on its production ability or viability of cost.
I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that
you know, it was fuck all. It was cheap as piss to yeet 10 dreads to take out a super, and you know you get a really good kill. And now you take those same dreads out, and if they all get whelped, then it's like an even BR.
Yeah,
Well, currently like 6 dreads is about the same as a super, so
Yeah.
It's sad. Quite sad.
I mean, I can see why they did the changes for the bigger groups, but yeah, like Silver said, it definitely fucks up those smaller groups or those who want to try to climb the ladder. It definitely has a lot more rungs.
The core problem is that capitals generally are force multiplication tools. They enable whoever is using them to gain significant advantage. So when small or medium-sized groups who have capitals are able to utilize them to win fights, if their opponent cannot match those capitals, then there's a situation where they cannot have a meaningful contest in many cases. As Silver was alluding to, if somebody shows up in a smaller, medium-sized group's kind of space and they have even 10 or 15 supers that can be backed by another 50, there's no situation where that smaller, medium-sized group can contest. They just can't.
It's like
creates
Pochfin
really.
at the moment.
No, Pochfin's actually the one place that's kind of immune to this.
Well, no,
Real
there's
capital
group.
force in Pochfin.
Well, there is a capital group. They've got like 20, 30 dreads, and they are on top because they've got those dreads, and no one else can contest it.
No, how many times have you realistically seen those dreads used in combat in a way where there's any real risk in the situation?
yeah, they usually pull them out and then the other groups run. But and they don't pull them out in situations where they know they're going to lose. But it is definitely a massive power project because they've got them and no one else can.
I mean, it's definitely a power advantage. There's no doubt about that. But it's
I was told, I have been told as I'm loading caps, the person who wins the cap fight is the person who can escalate harder and call targets better. That's the two things that determines a cap fight.
usually that's accurate.
The
Yeah, I
person
would
who
say
wins
it's
the
true.
cap fight is the person who has more dreads.
Not even that. Goon Swarm. I was saying this is a very interesting. You're talking about differences between test and horde culture versus goon culture. Horde Pappy won a dread fight where it was similar numbers. It was like 20v20 or around there, and we lost 4 dreads and goons wiped because they don't push their fights as hard to have like 5s in their skills. Well, that was a bigger thing for our groups, and that was a factor in us winning that fight because goons can normally just kind of outlob whoever the 5 skills aren't needed. But an interesting point of differentiation between how Pappy runs their capitals and how goons run their capitals.
They don't push as hard to have 5s in which skills?
In the dread skills, like the guns, of course the dread guns. It's a big the skills of a dread matter a lot for the gun damage, so they just haven't really been.
Is
From
this
what
the reason why they've been doing all this propaganda about having to move up the Keepstar chain with JDC4?
I don't know what you're talking about.
They've been doing a lot of propaganda about people having to be left behind because they only have jump drive calibration 4.
I'm not tracking a single person, and I've done a lot. I've done 6,000 minutes in the past 30 days, and most of that's on move ops. I'm not tracking anybody who I've talked to has come to me saying that they can't go on the move op because they don't have JDC5 yet. That's not been a problem.
Yeah,
And even if it was, go ahead.
The only people who are having issue with JDC4 and the move op is Rockwell pilots and jump freighter pilots. They just have to take the the long way instead of being able to skip a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to do it with JDC4. It's all in range.
Hey, Silver, is it true a lot of your corps going to frat? Like a lot of them.
No one's going to frat. Can confirm.
You can't confirm that. There might be lots of people going to frat. It's just not the organized groups that are going to frat.
Yeah, that's not a sponsored option or anything I've heard a lot of people say. I would say there's a good chance that a few of my pilots went to frat. Actually, I do know of one person that went to frat. Yes.
Okay, that was rumor, and I was just curious about.
Where did Luke and Mike and Alterari go?
We
lost all our goons.
They got eaten by a bear.
They left once we started talking about an offensive because they can't last through one.
Oh, god damn. Sorry,
It
I'm
couldn't
back
last through
now.
the show. Is that what this statement was?
Goonswarm lasting in general is the joke, I think, honestly.
Is that what we're doing now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was
well,
gonna
it was
say-
very fun being on the stream, but I have to go do things. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.
I was gonna say we
Guess
didn't
Jeremy
lose
can't
all our
last
goons,
either.
but I guess we did lose all our goons. Caleb left too.
Oh yeah. It's okay. It's kind of a slow show tonight. We've had a couple back-to-back bangers, so I mean, yeesh.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're now in a situation where we are no longer in the weekly content provided by Big War Zone. So certainly week to week, I would say the shows are definitely going to be quieter on average. You're going to have goons kind of talking some mad shit, which is fair as they kind of clear the entirety of Delph. But they're doing it so fast, they're going to run out of shit to talk real quick because they're blowing through all the structures in record time. And after that, I mean, you've got no real major conflicts going on. You've got obviously Brave, who's going into Geminate, I believe. You'll have the drone regions mostly going into, I would assume, at least some level of lockdown mode, although maybe there'll be some interesting deployments happening. Who knows? Goons will probably be focusing on rebuilding Delve, and they'll probably put a lot of their regions on lockdown. Although I'm sure it'll be very easy to harass from, as I'm sure Pappy has massive caches of ships in the area, be they in NPC Delve or Ermelin. You'll see very little going on in the north, as generally Frat doesn't start fights, and the southeast is going to be pretty quiet as well. Although that could heat up, it's possible. So I really don't know what's going to be the exciting news of Eve for the next while. Hopefully, whatever happens, it's good for the PCU, I guess.
Yes, hopefully scarcity ends in the next 3 months, apparently. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Inner Hell comes back. Volta goes back to Thera. The Hunters come back.
Nature really does heal itself.
No, it's just the bacteria. It's the fungus growing in the burn ashes of Delve.
I like fungus. Tastes good.
Yeah.
Go down to Delve. There's a bunch of fungus growing down there.
I live in Delve. What are you talking about? I fucking grow my own fungus. I fucking like it.
Hey, are you gonna move back to Fountain?
Who?
Are you gonna move back to Fountain?
I don't think so.
Has Initiative began rebuilding in Fountain? Is that happening?
Initiative
yeah.
is rebuilding everywhere. It seems like I don't know. They're fucking all over the place.
They're probably ahead of the
believe
curve.
I don't think all the decisions have been made or been communicated yet, so I'm not sure where it's going to be.
I mean, I'm watching them. They're pretty much home already.
Good for them.
Are they? Yeah.
And they've been very cool.
Keep stars yet?
I imagine they want it back. I mean,
You might find a Keep Star in White Tag too that belongs to them. I don't know.
Oh, did you sell them the Keepstar?
Yeah.
I offered to buy the T5 Keepstar, T5Z Keepstar, but no.
Unfortunately, T5Z Keepstar and YZ9 are not sellable Keepstars. They have to.
I wouldn't give you what they're worth.
They have to be destroyed, unfortunately, or
They
anchored.
do, yeah.
So, like, asset safety has to be triggered on any station you stage from for any real period of time.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why we did Fountain, right, is it's nowhere near the evac routes, and we were only there for a few months. There's nothing in there for them to blow up and get.
Yeah, I mean, Fed Up is a small, medium-sized alliance. It's not worth.
No, they would lose that deal if they tried it.
Yeah, you do it someplace like T5Z though, you'd make trillions.
Oh,
Which
absolutely.
is why it can't be let happen.
And Shines and Pando and it, they've been all very nice and cordial for the most part.
Cordial.
Yeah, unlike some people. Yeah,
Dark
I get a
Shines
lot of
called-
heat from people, but
Dark
not from
Shines
Shines.
called me a
I
pup.
can't help it.
He called you a
My
what?
fucking skin, bro.
A pup, dude. He called me a pup.
A pup?
Yeah.
It's kind of cute.
I know, right? It was weird.
Maybe we'll see Pando start advocating for asset safety again. Who knows?
I'm a little bit worried about all the consolidation. It's further consolidation. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, I think unfortunately what this was kind of the worst case scenario for the wars. Now you've got two sides that are going to be entrenched on opposite sides of the maps with no real ability to remove them and no real way for either of them to cross the galaxy to fight each other in a meaningful way aside from light or medium scale proxy wars. So it's definitely not the dream future for Eve, but there's lots of people that will be happy with this result and we'll see how it plays out.
Good thing
Not
that
the dream
Eve
future for the people who play in Nullsec, but maybe give an opportunity for something different in the game to happen. We don't know. Maybe it could happen.
like
It could be great.
wormholes.
It could be great. Now wormholes should be taken out.
Unfortunately, like it's just not the kind of alliance chaos, that many had kind of hoped would result from the end of the war. You've just now got two blocks who are fully entrenched in opposite sides of the galaxy. So,
it does seem kind of like Alliance chaos. Like when we look at what's happening in Legacy, that is
Legacy's
kind of
gone,
exactly
right?
chaos. Yeah.
Like when I talk about Alliance chaos, I'm talking about like small and medium-sized groups fighting each other all over the place for different, plots of space. Lots of interesting conflict happening.
Well, that would be great.
Right. That's what's not going to happen. Yeah, it was.
No.
Yeah, the dream was to just shatter the universe, right?
Very
It
much the
didn't
dream
happen.
was, like, we said it 100 times. The dream was to go in, defeat the Imperium, and then, for the most part, have everybody to a degree reset each other, right? It would have absolutely been, like, especially with, like, whatever the remnants of the Imperium would have been, there would have been conflict all over the place, whether people are willing to admit it or not. I mean, listen, loser of the war, I wish them the best, but I don't think it's the best healthy thing for Eve. It is what it is.
You're right. It is what it would have been great. I guess I just never thought that was really a possibility.
I mean, that's what I was saying from the beginning. Is that is exactly what would happen? But the only interesting thing now is that I wonder if the Imperium is gonna flex like they have been for the last few years, or if they're just gonna chill.
Well, what do you mean by flex? It's a very
Well,
broad term.
So like they glass tribute and veil, like no contest really, just gone. They did their deployment to Pure Blind, so I'm curious what their next login drive for CSM votes is going to be, and who's going to be the target of it.
Well, that's my worry. Like they've been glassing those people, but over the years we can continue to see more and more consolidation. There is no GOTG to go glass anymore. There is no more, small groups in Legacy to go stomp. There is no more any of that, right? And Nullsec anyway. Tell me who they're going to go glass now. Who's the next victim to pump up their numbers? There's no one. They can't just march across space and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go glass the drone lands." That's not possible, right?
But they can though. They could.
You cannot.
If you're not bringing supers, there's no way
Yeah,
you're going to
you
be able to.
I don't disagree with that.
If they
but it's
really
not
wanted to.
impossible.
So like the Imperium has 2 super fleets, right? And
No,
both
they
super
don't.
fleets, yeah,
The Imperium has never operated their super fleets as 2 super fleets.
They have.
When?
Because in
Give me
the
a single
Pure Blind
time when
War-
they have ever done that.
There's no way. When?
Before X47, they had one set of supers up north, one set of supers not up north, and all of the supers that were still in the south were brought up before X47 to fight that fight. Like, hello, I was there leading the move ops. What?
Right. So the Imperium chose to deploy half of their super fleet, and then
Yes.
realized they could not use their super fleets because their super fleets were not built to be used that way. And then brought their super fleets together, made their normal super fleet, and then won the Battle of X47. During this war, they decided they wanted to do a differentiation of super fleets, and they divided them by super fleets and Titan fleets.
I mean, it has been a long time since I've been in Goons, so, maybe...
During pre-X47, pre-ULX, they did leave their shield fleet. I believe they left them in Delve, but they never actually utilized that shield fleet, aside from
used it for home
the
defense.
support of us in ULX. So, but that was with the test shield super fleet and its 5,000 fucking faxes there to kind of ensure that was a properly working super fleet.
Yeah, but
when
either
the
way...
Imperium goes like a big, their super fleet is like the biggest fucking brass ball coming at you, right? It's not like a divided group kind of thing.
Yeah, but do they need their entire super fleet to steamroll through like Catch or something like that?
Catch?
They do?
Well,
yeah,
Catch.
so,
No, not Catch.
Like, so this is what I'm saying
Catch
is
is
like,
undefended.
Yeah, there's no one in Catch. What are you talking about?
So they're
like you don't need anything to steamroll Catch. Well, to beat Wrecking Crew, like if they're gonna fight their allies, then that's gonna be like
or whatever. Anyways, what I'm saying though is that if they took their super fleet, half of it, and stretched it around the map, all the way up down the east side of the map, up to the drone lands, they could do that, and they could still have a sufficient force left in Delve to defend Delve. Especially
the thing
since
is we've learned from Goons, the same as Goons learned about the bubbles from our bubble wrap. We've learned from Goons' defense tactics on how to defend and defend fucking well.
The problem is that you cannot realistically use a small or medium-sized super fleet against a full super fleet. It just doesn't work. Tess learned that lesson in Oisianen. trying to bring our armor super fleet up against PanFam to support our dread fleet that went there. Because as soon as you deploy that smaller, medium-sized super fleet, the enemy is literally just looking at it like a hungry meal.
I don't know. I don't think anybody is going to look at half a super fleet and delve like.
No, what I'm saying is whatever super fleet you use
the
offensively
deployed one, yeah.
has to be equivalent or very close to equivalent the one you are attacking.
Yes.
And so
then that becomes a problem because now you're talking about two huge macro groups, right?
Like right
How do you
now,
fit
you're
that
not
many
seeing
people on
Pappy
grid?
bleed many Titans, right? Like you're losing one or two on the move up, but we're talking about a Titan fleet that's in the 1,000, right? You know, the Imperium had 1,000, we had 1,000. That was M2 Part 2, right? Like, so, and on a deployment, you never take 100%. So the Imperium would lose, a percentage the further you went usually, but it's tricky to say what they would lose on an offensive on an offensive attack. So they would have to bring everything effectively.
Do you think they need to do that from the very beginning, though?
Yes.
Yes, that like you can't use supers if you can't equalize the fleet. Otherwise, the other super fleets just trying to get up in that ass.
Right, but there's not going to be a super fleet in Catch, is there?
But Catch isn't.
Why are you talking about Catch? I don't understand.
Like
because it's
Catch
on the
is
way,
just
dude.
like no Catch is sure you can go conquer Catch.
Fine, yeah.
Nobody
have
cares about Catch.
I don't know what you...
No, nobody's talking about Catch. We're talking about the drones, right? Like,
What are you gonna find there? Dread bomb renters?
Yes, that's who lives there.
All right, maybe I'm just crazy then. I'll leave the strategy to people like PGL because I don't know anything about that. So. Anyways, I think
all I know is I like using my super. It's a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, you finally get a
But how
chance to use it.
fucking expensive is fuel at the moment? Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, that's to be expected, I guess, right?
and there's a guy in chat that's saying that neither side had 1,000 Titans, and he's incorrect.
I think that's
M2,
incorrect.
Yeah, in M2 Part 2, both sides had within 50 Titan. Well, I think Imperium had 950 and we had 1,100. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was exactly where the numbers were at. So
I think Source alone has about 100, 120.
I saw 3 fucking 250 man fleets full of Titans, and that was just on one
in Imperium. Yeah. So what I say, 950, right? So yeah, that's accurate, I believe. Because I think that you guys had another group that was
the shields,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
the shields.
I've got screenshots of it. So it was fucking cool watching them fucking hit these, watch them all warp to the gates. That was fucking amazing to see that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Me and you aren't arguing. I don't think.
Too, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we brought everybody, right? Everybody came from all across the galaxy. It just didn't obviously work. But
the pure cool.
All those Titans, aside from what was lost in the Part 2 battle, which was 70 or 80 or whatever, all those Titans are just moving home now, right? So any
What was
force
the
that's
total?
gonna.
So do you know what the total was for Titans lost in the whole time? Is it pushing 400 or is it not that much?
No, there was 120 per side, I think, for Part 1. And for Part 2, I think there was 120, but I think 50 were, what do you call them, ghosts. So
Ghosts.
Kill Mills popped, but they got their ship back. So
It didn't quite hit the 400 total.
I think it was like 70 for Part 2, but it was 70 to 0, obviously, which is the problem. Yeah. But 70 times 70, 120, 120. Yeah, so that's like what, 330? Yeah, 320, 330.
But almost 400 Titans killed in the war. That's, I mean, from both sides, not one side taking all those losses.
It helps the problem a little
Titans
bit.
Killed.
It helps the problem a little bit, right? But if you assume if both sides had 1,000, or roughly, let's say, that means there's 2,000. Let's say there's an additional 500 Titans throughout the galaxy. So that means we saw roughly 10% of the Titans in Eve die, which is good, but it's just not what it needed.
It would have been better if it was 50%, probably. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we needed 30, 40, 50% of the Titans in Eve to die. That unfortunately, we needed those two fleets to go up against one each other and just trade for 10 hours at like no tie-dye level speeds, right? And that would have been really great for Eve.
Had the KVN server failure not happened, we might have seen it. But I think after that, everybody was just like, I don't feel comfortable doing this, unless we know for sure it's going to take it.
Yeah, I mean that creeps into the back of people's minds.
Absolutely.
And people complain, "Oh, we never got the Cataclysm." Well, how the fuck is anybody going to decide to just ram all those people into a node again after M2?
It's almost it's like you got to work together to pulse them in. I mean, to work to get them into one system. You can't like just everybody try to do it at once because we know what happens. Right?
Unfortunately, the set of circumstances to have one of those fights is so rare, right?
For sure,
you have to have both sides willing to go, and then you have to have one side that thinks they're in a strong enough position to mitigate the other side's situation where they think they're in a strong enough position to take the fight, right? M2 Part 1 was like a perfect example of that kind of a battle where the defenders, they had the Keepstar advantage, which is a massive advantage, and Pappy had a numerical advantage, which we thought would be strong enough, and basically we ended up trading almost evenly, right? So, which is exactly kind of how you would expect that kind of a situation to go, where both sides think they can win, and on paper both sides could have or did in a way win. Then obviously the problem became, where we didn't log back in after downtime, and the whole situation kind of fell out of tactical control, and then we ended up playing into Part 2 in a really awkward kind of way. So it's just one of those things where I don't know how we ever get a truly big battle like that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think
you're right though about
it's
M2
literally
first
impossible.
one. Both sides had an advantage. Both sides were able to take advantage of their advantage. It like you said, it came out pretty much an even thing. And unfortunately, I just honestly
the
don't
problem
blame you
is
guys
on
for Part 2. It was issues with the
Yeah, so but it creates a situation where okay, we can't have that fight in the Keepstar, right? Because then we've got to deal with another possible M2 situation, where if we're the attackers on a Keepstar because of the multiple timers, we have to be in a situation where the fight is decisive and we win. Otherwise, we just end up a situation where we're sitting off a Keepstar and then we have to repeat over and over again. The tactical advantage Citadels provide between Doomsday's Tether and PDS are just so monstrous in these battles, so monstrous that you need a really massive advantage to even consider taking the fight on them. And obviously, we've seen both Goons and Goons and Pappy. Neither side was willing to engage on the other's Keepstars once those fights had taken place.
Yeah, that's fair. It takes way too much macro, right?
So from my perspective of the war, I think the most fun big fights were the where we were fighting when you guys were trying to get those Keepstars anchored down.
Yeah, the Goon suicide. I mean, those were super fun for us, and I mean,
fun for both sides, really. Honestly, even though we lost tons of ships, we still was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The problem was they just became draining for us, obviously. And obviously they were draining for the Imperium as well, as we saw kind of the numbers going down bit by bit.
Oh yeah, you can only do it so many times, right?
Yeah, and as the leaks from later have said, the Imperium or the Goon Finance guys were like, you can't keep doing this, but obviously they were willing to big ball it and keep doing it, which is props to them. Until the fifth timer when their numbers were already a bit low, and then the bubble wrap came in, and they were just not prepared for it. And even if that had failed, I'm pretty sure even a fifth and sixth or sixth and seventh or eighth or whatever would have sooner or later we would have got the job done. I don't think anybody was particularly worried about the long-term result.
Feed stars were great. I got so many kill marks on my carrier.
Honestly, one of the things I truly wish is like the final Keepstar that went up was in YZ9. It was like I always wanted it in 319, not YZ9.
I wish we kept that going a bit longer, but I do agree that it was exhausting. But I wish it lasted longer.
I mean, 13 hours of just kind of sitting there shooting each other is never fun for anybody, right?
Yeah, I liked being there, but I'm not sure I would call it fun.
Well, that's most fights in EVE, like big at that scale, right? Not entirely fun to be in, but it's the experience of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm very happy they brought out spreadsheet mode during that time, though.
Yes, that helped.
That helps so much.
Actually, I was quite impressed with server and client performance through most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it held up pretty good for all, better than it has been.
I was with the X-Philly though, like M2 Part 2, the decision to jump in. Of course, we had calculated that the server would probably fail in some way, right? It was in the way that it failed that was sort of extremely surprising and unforeseen, right? That was a novel type of failure. Like we knew jumping in that we were going to bleed, I don't know, 30, 40 Titans into that cloud. Like I want you to rationalize this. It wasn't like a complete, like just jump in, fuck it, right?
We knew there would be a high cost paid, right?
Right, but what you didn't know was that the Titans were going to spawn with no mods.
Well, it wasn't
right?
all in the no spawn with no mods. It's just the not load at all, right? Was the problem in the bounce backs. So, we had left, I think, an hour and a half to jump in before we needed to apply DPS to the Keepstar. But the problem is the way that the jump worked is that we initiated the jump and we expected that after an hour and a half or an hour or so, we would all load, eventually. But the problem became that because the server was so congested, what it did, and we had not expected this or not seen this before, it's because the server was so maxed, it created this funnel where it would only let a few people in at a time. So we would have 4 or 5 Titans spawn, then a 4 or 5 Titans spawn, then a 4 or 5 Titans spawn. Instead of all spawning at once, losing a bunch of people and fighting it out, we had a situation where people were just trickling in basically into the giant blob of death, and half of the people that were jumping were loading back in T5Z, which further amplified the problem because they were not in a position then where they could get in, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. The server just failed at a level that wasn't predicted.
Yeah, that was a novel failure. Like, obviously the worst case scenario is the node crashes prior to that, and then everyone's sort of fucked and we have to reset. But that kind of failure has never been seen before.
I mean,
I think that's a very important point for people to understand, right?
Yeah, it was very much a black swan event, I think.
Yes. And as much as
we had
people want to bitch and moan about it, it was. Was it the best decision? Probably not. But there was all kinds of reasons behind that. Like we all just talked about how we wanted the cataclysmic fight. That would have been it, right? So if we had not taken the fight, we probably would have been criticized for being risk averse or something.
Not probably, yeah.
Right. So you gotta put the bullshit aside for a minute, and I give you a lot of credit, Billy, for going in because you had everyone suited up, everyone showed up. It was a week-long move up. You took a calculated risk, and the service failed unprecedentedly. And we wound up with the most fucked up situation I've ever seen in any video game. So I don't know.
Well,
You don't deserve the amount
pressing...
of heat that you get for that.
I don't, as I said, I don't mind sitting around and taking the blame for it. There was a lot of calls that weren't my calls, but as I said, I don't mind being the one to eat it because others don't want to, and I've got more than big enough shoulders for it. For me, the biggest part, the weirdest problem for M2 was always that I jumped in and I didn't load and I bounced back. So I got to listen to other people dying while I loaded in T5Z with my Titan and, safe and sound kind of thing, which was kind of depressing. You always want to kind of, what is it, survivor's guilt or whatever?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I jumped into M2 and ended up spawning in the sun in T5Z.
Yeah. Well, that's how the bounce back worked, right?
Yeah, it was yeah.
If anything from that fight or non-fight, whatever we call it, hopefully CCP learned something from it.
Yeah,
they can be able to go back and make adjustments.
Being that we were seeing similar lag situations happen in that big 1DQ Ferox battle on that last day, my suspicion is not.
Well, that doesn't mean they haven't learned. They may not have been able to implement anything yet, but hopefully they can learn from those situations.
Yeah,
because they're definitely different than the last big fight things, like the different types of server lags we had before. These are different ones, like you said. We've never seen that before. So
you guys remember UALX and X47, right? When that was with the 32-bit client, where your computer could handle more of the game. The game was just like, nah, we reached cap, so we're just gonna log you out. And so as crazy
I remember that.
People would just get randomly logged out, like, hey guys, let's jump in our supers, and then half of the people in the system just got logged out. And it wasn't like their game crashed or their computer crashed. It was literally just the game was like, nope, too much is happening. Goodbye, friends.
Yep, that happened to me. I was
I
8 hours to get logged back in. Yeah.
In ULX, I think I crashed in the Komodo 4 different times. I'd log in, I'd fire off at Doomsday, and 5 minutes later I'd be disconnected. And by the time I got back in, my next Doomsday'd be up. And the whole time I'm just like, don't shoot me with my hardeners off, please.
I think that's the thing too with the game, right? This is not really seen in any other type of game, sort of thing. And so as players are identifying issues and CCPs correcting them, right? So that for this example, they upped the 32-bit client to 64, and now everyone can stay logged in, but we're seeing all this other crazy shit happening.
I mean, I don't think the answer is it has nothing to do with adding hardware or optimizing the game. All those things are always good, but like to me, the problem is the macro that's needed now to attack a defended keepstar. Is only going to continue to get worse as the game consolidates down. So like everyone's operating under perfect intel. The defender will always have the opportunity to position first, likely. And now we have a situation where we got to shove 10,000 people on the node to even have a result. And there was way more people waiting to get in, right? So you could build it another 50% and it's still not enough, right?
Yeah.
We
It
got to
never
look at
will
the
be, though.
game mechanic now. Like this, no, you'll never be able to keep up.
Because if you give us the ability to do 10,000, we'll bring 12.
Of course,
Give
and
us
there
12,
already
we'll bring
was.
20,
There was
right? That's
already
the way it's gonna be.
capacity.
I don't know if that's true, right?
Well,
Like,
if
let's
we
be
had the
real here.
people, if we had the people to do
There was
something.
11,000 people or 11,000 pilots that wanted to get into that system, and the system effectively capped at 6,500, which meant that but it's important to remember that 1,100 or 11,000 was probably the max at which players like you got to realize Pappy versus the Imperium is as big as it gets in terms of EVE Online
I didn't
combat.
mean we'd have to have the people. I understand that. I'm just saying.
Like,
we would always try to be
I
more.
just don't think that players like 11,000 people is a pretty impressive feat.
Fuck yeah, it is.
It is, but you're not
Really,
worried that the
when you said
macro
effectively,
mechanics are a problem
3,000
here?
is probably effectively the most you should have in the system, honestly, because it gets to the point where it's.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but how are you ever going to have that happen again? You have two like massive collisions facing off. There'll never be a 3,000 person fight over a Keepstar. No way.
I mean, think about it like this way: who is going to sign up for another 13-month war?
I would.
Okay, let me rephrase. Well, let me finish, I should say. Who is going to sign up for another 13-month war where they have to lead it, spend 12 hours a day every day for the next however many 13 months? Risk their alliance, risk all their money, all these things, right? Who's going to sign up for that?
Okay. You lost me at lead.
That's extremely scary, man. That makes me extremely scared for the game. Just hearing you say that, because what is the alternative? Cold War, right?
Well, it is
Fleets,
Cold War, right?
Yeah, fleets warping around like, oh, we'll
what we
smack
had
each other
7
here,
years
smack each
before
other
this,
there, but there will never be, as long as it remains like this, what kind of shakeup will ever happen again in Nullsec?
The same thing was said last time. Oh, this will never happen again. It's never happen again. It'll
Oh
happen.
man, this is totally different, dude. This is nothing like any other conflict before.
It'll be 2 years.
When have people said this will never happen again? Before
After, when you guys kicked goons out of there the last time. I wasn't with either side last time.
I don't think anyone really said anything.
No one
similar.
said
I remember people saying it on the shows I was on. Oh, we'll never see warfare like this. We'll never see a group gang. We'll never see groups gang up like that on anybody again.
Well, to be fair, we didn't. Like, this is
Until
not
this war,
similar. No, that war was entirely different in that literally half the galaxy went, but the other half got paid and went. Like, this war, as much as people like to pretend it didn't happen, like a good chunk of the galaxy stayed out of this. Like, large chunks of the galaxy. And while on paper you could put them on the Pappy side, in many cases those people were just sitting at home doing whatever they wanted. You can look at large chunk of the north, large chunk of the south. It's they weren't involved in all reality. They might have showed up for the odd fight here and there. But applying the constant pressure like you saw in World War B1, no. And that would be unrealistic. Like, let's be clear, right?
I just hope that with 13 months worth of data and complaints and footage and everything, that CCP is able to look at this and see the things that need to be changed or tweaked or just flat out removed or added. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully we see improvements in the next 3, 6, 12 months to the mechanics that we've proven on both sides are just busted.
Hashtag delete Keepstars.
Well,
You
there's
guys
multiple
wanna-
problems. Like, first off, the fact that Keepstars are the cost of a Titan now is just wholly unacceptable.
Broken.
Like, a Keepstar should be what, 5
Half a trillion?
times?
Yeah.
Like, It's unfortunate. I don't want to say this because there's so many of them, but I don't want to entrench the people that already have them more. But I don't know, you just can't have keep stars be the same price as a Titan. It's just it ruins the or the cost of a keep star cannot be 150 to 200 bill and have the caps that are attacking it that need to, or the subs that are attacking it, cost what they cost, right? It just doesn't work. The math does not compute, which means people can spam keep stars if they have that financial resource available to them.
Well, that's what Cryo brought up. Cryo Huron, the co-ord for Goons, in the Saturday stream, brought up that they. What about a cap of keep stars per system?
Well, a cap of keep stars per system doesn't change.
Well, no,
sure, the fact that there was 5 keep stars in 1DQ never changed anything, right?
Yeah, I don't think that mattered whatsoever. They could have been 100 keep stars in 1DQ. It didn't matter.
And let's be real. If there would have been more keep stars outside of 1DQ, I don't know if that would have changed much either, right? It's not it would have taken us more.
It would have taken longer to get them down, but you're right. It might not have changed the.
Well, no, think about it this. Right, so
right, the defensibility of the constellation and the ability to effectively have a double choke point that is connectable by jump bridge was what kind of did it, right? The ability to just go into full bubble and fighters lockdown off tether is kind of the power, combined with the fact that numerically we just weren't larger, right? So it creates all these dynamics that really kind of led to the stagnation in the war we had.
Yeah, but if you think if they put a cap into the structures like keep stars, forward stars, stuff like that, things that you can just sit a whole capital fleet or 3 on. If they cap them, then you don't just suddenly have a keep star on every gate or iHub or a forward star on every gate in iHub. You need to try to work out which one you need to prioritize the most because you've got a limited number. You can't just spam them for defense.
Yeah, I definitely think a tether bandwidth would be a kind of interesting idea, or a maximum number of Titans able to dock at a keep star kind of thing.
Do we need tether?
Unfortunately, I think in certain ways we do. I don't like tether in general, but
I fucking hate tether. Why do we need them? I'm just curious.
Well, originally tether was required because part of replacing pauses was replacing the safety within the bubble, right? And being that we still have pauses, I don't know if that's 100% necessary.
It's wait, but we never got rid of that mechanic.
Yeah.
Put a bubble mod instead of tether. That just drains.
I mean, the funny thing is, to me, the old school pauses were not nearly as badly designed as people like to think.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people. I never understood that. I mean, yeah, the code's old, but the mechanic is okay.
Well, the problem is the pause mechanics were refined over a long period of time, right? People like to make fun of CCP for not iterating, right? But over the course of 12 years that pauses were around before Citadels.
Lots of changes, yeah.
There was a variety of adjustments that were made to pause mods, the way pauses worked, etc. And I'm pretty sure I wrote a thread or a long comment about how perfectly balanced the old Sinojammers were before they introduced the new ones. Because the old Sinojammers had a ton of incredible depth in the mechanics around them, where you could incap them, you could unanchor them before they're incapped, you could, log off dreads on the Sinojammer. They were reppable, but they were also no resist damageable. There was so much play and counterplay around. Yeah, there was no damage cap. There was so much play and counterplay around the old Sinojammers that they were just really interesting to fight over, and the mechanics around them were incredibly engaging and interesting. And the current Sinojammers are so terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. The problem is, though, I have with tether is, okay, you want to replace the safety within the bubble, but when you're on tether, to get back to safety, you need to do nothing but de-aggress. With the bubble, you got to aggress and then try to float back, right? There's
a big deal with the capitals, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so you got a pile of 1,000 Titans sitting in a pos? No, that's not what happened. But that's what's happening now because of tether.
Just add a bubble mod to structures. Get rid of tether. That
My
way,
problem is
faster.
the massive scale of the keep star and the amount of shit that it could keep safe, like the POS, is way broken.
Well, the problem becomes the PDS as well, right?
Yes.
Because the PDS
I mean, there's more wrong with it, but yeah.
Like the fact that you can't bubble on it, and especially when a large part of super cap fighting is the fighter mechanics, where a PDS basically two shots a fighter blob, right? So 2 cycles of PDS will kill one 1/9 of
Squadron.
a
Yeah.
or yeah, 1/6, 1/9, whatever of a squadron. So that may not seem like much on paper, but the speed at which that will actually neuter um, your fighter blob, against an enemy that's on a Keepstar is absolutely insane. Part of M2 Part 1, when we were fighting that battle, we were scared shitless. Like, we couldn't understand for the love of us why they weren't running the PDS, because we had our fighters in there just chewing at their caps. And, like, the whole time we're like, they're not activating the PS. What are they doing? And to me, like, that was one of the, like, arguably the biggest mistake they made throughout the whole fight. Because once the fighters leave the carriers that are on the Keepstar, they're outside PDS range, but all the fighters that are shooting in at them are within PDS range, right? So it's an incredibly huge advantage that wasn't leveraged for a large part of the fight. I think like hour 5 or 6 they
Wasn't
caught
that part
on
of it
with
was the server though? I thought they tried to turn it on, it wouldn't turn on.
That's possible.
It's possible.
I
But
thought that was the
that was
49
for
tack.
49
Was it
UTAC.
that?
They couldn't
All
get
right,
the
I knew
PDS
that
to
that
reliably
happened. I
turn
couldn't
on.
remember what happened.
And yeah, in that situation, they were using the PDS to just clear bubbles, right? They were deploying a super fleet, causing the dread bomb to drop on that super fleet, leaving their fighters, and then warping away by using the PDS. And unfortunately, the PDS wouldn't cycle, so they couldn't warp their supers away, and ended up I think, losing like 13 or 14 supers or something, if I recall. Yeah.
Had a great it was funny. FC the other night. We had our light fighters, not fighters, light drones on a structure. I don't know what it was, but it was one that had a PDS. He's like, "Well, if they turn the PDS on, just bring your drones back." I'm like, "If they turn the PDS on, we're not going to have any drones left, so you don't have to worry about bringing them back."
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have normal
Look
drones
at
on them,
light drones. It was fucking. Like,
yeah,
just bring
they
them back.
they
Like,
get
no.
instantly all killed, right? Turn the PDS on instantly.
All killed. Yeah.
Yeah. Second
He's
you
like,
see a
"No, just
gunner
bring them back,
warping
and
over
they
there.
won't be alive."
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, if your fighters on the other side of a structure when that happens, in many cases, because they'll go through the PDS to return to you, you'll also lose most of your like light fighter squadrons in some cases.
Oh yeah, no, that's a thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
I think I like Citadels in general. There's a lot of things they could have done better.
I hate Citadels.
You want to know what I like?
Oh, macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Fucking bedtime. We've
Good call,
we've been broadcasting for a while. It's time for us to go. But before I do, we're gonna send. Shut up, Akaroth. I'll see you on Friday. I'll be up all night, brother. But anyways, I'm gonna send you to Gungix. He's back from vacation, and if you guys have any Twitch Prime subs, give them to him. He'll love them. Also, make sure if you're going to what?
Before we go, okay, you guys ready?
Is it about Nola?
We are less than 3,000 points away from Webcam Tuesday, so make sure before we go, because you can only do it during the stream, to submit your points. And yes, I will see you all at New Orleans, so y'all better be there.
So make sure if you go to NOLA that you are safe and that you stay safe, right? It's a very scary time.
Mask, I'm a murder. I will. Crap, I can't say that, can I? Man, I'm gonna sound like I'm threatening.
Can't say what?
I'm murdering
Oh,
you.
there it is. There it is. 100%.
All on camera next.
What
That's fantastic.
What have you guys fucking done?
I'm gonna have to go to the barber. Great. I look like a fucking caveman at the moment. I've got like 12 months of unkempt beard halfway down my chest.
Villy.
That's fantastic.
Villy.
Yeah.
They did it. They raised they raised 1 million points for us to be on webcam for a Tuesday. Are you in?
No, of course not.
God fucking damn it. Come on, man. Only for an hour. You got this.
No, there's no way I would ever put my face in front of the Imperium people. It'd just be a recipe for disaster.
I wish I didn't have to say that that's fair, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, we can all wear masks.
What the hell would be the point of the cam then?
We should all wear masks.
Like Halloween masks or something. They never said it had to be our faces. They just said it had to be a camera.
You have a gas mask on. That'd be funny.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's probably not going to be next week, but we'll
the
work
last
it
time
out.
I was on camera, people made fun of my blinds, and everybody liked me. Nobody likes me anymore.
What? Made fun of you? What?
Well, if it's any consolation, like
I learned my lesson a long time ago.
Is that the video with
I get on
bigger
webcam
nut?
every day. It's fine.
If it's any consolation, like we would literally time out and ban people who did that in this chat. Rain would be on
Do you
point.
think it would be in chat would be the main?
I know.
I think so. Anyways, we'll discuss that.
How naive.
Anyways,
next year.
I am sending you guys over to Gungix. I'm gonna do some credits if they work.
You gotta send skins out.
I will send out skins out tomorrow. And yes, so we'll see you guys next week for Trash Talk Tuesday. Thanks as always for watching. I've been Redline, and this has been a long show, and we'll see you next week. TLDW.
Thanks, guys.